Welcome into a terrible football show. This is episode 42. My name is Alex Light with Sparky3. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal day. Whether if you're watching this live alongside of us or watching this after the fact or listening to this after the fact, we appreciate the hell out of you. I got Ricky here with me on Discord. Ricky, how you doing? How you feeling? Shout out to you and Shane for holding down the show last week while I was out on vacation. You guys did phenomenal from what I got to listen to because I was really losing a lot of service going in and out of attractions, but I was trying my best. But how you doing? How you feeling, man? Good to be back.
It's good for you to be back. I told our audience last week that our show was so terrible. You decided to bail on us and take a vacation. So
yeah,
I'm just glad that you're back. And like I said, I wasn't on my A game last week whatsoever with a lot of stuff going on. But things are going great this week. A lot of audits and stuff like that going on at work. Screw that crap. I'm ready to talk sports.
Man, after the day I had with that, I feel you. Me and you are in the same boat right now when it comes to that, my friend.
Absolutely.
As for the other boys, so Shane was with us a few minutes ago, but he's having mic problems, and he's going to try to pop back in. And Jacob, who had something pop up last week, he should also be popping in sometime soon. But we figured we'd go ahead and get the show started. They can pop in when they can, if they're able to. We'll see. We'll see when they pop in, if they do. I know Shane was about to like blow a gasket whenever he was trying to work with his mic stuff earlier. He had it working.
We should have a moment of silence for Shane's computer.
Yeah, hang on, let me just turn on the music too. All right, moments passed. But yeah, no. Yeah, he got the mic working because when he initially popped in, it wasn't working. He got it working. Then he tried to be a little spicy and tried to get the cam on too. As soon as he got the cam working, mic wasn't working anymore. Oh yeah, there he is in chat. I hate this. I'm sorry, Shane. Hopefully you can fix it and get in the show sometime here near soon. And also, like I also said in our Discord server, if I need to call you on my cell, I'll call you. We can do that too. Just let me know. Hopefully you can figure things out. But yeah, glad to be back. Lots to talk about. Well, I'm going to try my best to talk. I have opinions on a lot of things, but I didn't get to watch a lot of stuff, obviously. Saturday, I was still on vacation. Sunday was a very long day of travel. So I didn't get to watch a lot, but I did get to catch a lot of highlights. I did watch the Monday night last night. So I got some opinions on a few different things that popped up this weekend, so looking forward to diving into that. Also really looking forward to revealing to the world the stuff that we've got cooking with Agent Inc. I can officially confirm that the stuff with the Terrible Football Show is done. It's a wrap. We have finished the pieces of merch that we were doing for Terrible Football Show, and we have now started on the Sparky 3 stuff. So the shop should be launching sometime in the near future, and I'm very excited for the jerseys. Very, very excited. I cannot wait to reveal to the world what we've got cooking in that regard.
Mine saying Nooner Time on the back of it.
You can customize it and say whatever you want.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's going to be
Pick your own number. Put your own name back there. Whatever you want, man.
So there is I don't know. See, this was probably one of the first episodes me and Brad ever did. But there is a little deal where I had this fan club when I was in high school, and they were known as the Nooner Time Fan Club, and I had to tell you about that one day. And so, but if I had that printed on a jersey and sent it to my old youth minister, he would go ballistic.
Go ballistic.
So.
Love it, dude. But yeah, put Nooner Time on it, dude. It's gonna be awesome. Is that why your name is Nooner Time on Discord?
Yes.
Okay, that makes more sense now.
I've stuck with it. I had someone in college who knew about it. I didn't even know them when I was in high school, but yet they knew about it because of my youth minister, and it just carried on through college, and it still carries on to this day.
Okay, that makes sense. Also,
I'll tell you the story one day.
I can't wait to hear it. Just like I can't wait to see you again. Hopefully, whenever we have the studio up and running, so it's gonna be great. Maybe I can hear the story then. Also,
like a deal,
speaking of the Discord, make sure to join the Discord. You can come chat with us. We got a ATFS guest queue you can join. We'll pull you up in the show and chat with you. We'd love to hear your thoughts on whatever, and we'll either Pat McAfee show you and kick you out and call you an idiot, or we'll actually listen to what you have to say. We'll see. Join the Discord no matter what, though. With that said, I'll go ahead and start turning down the music for real this time, not for moment of silence, but actually just turn it down. And we can look to go ahead and kind of get started on some stuff. And like I said, I think Jacob's going to be hopping in sometime here soon. And Shane is figuring out Shane things. Hopefully Shane can get in here as well. All right, so I didn't get you guys started with some NFL last week, right? Do we want to kind of kick things off with college this week? How are we feeling on this?
Actually, I think we can start with NFL again.
Okay.
Like I said, a few things going on in the NFL, obviously. that I really believe needs to be addressed.
Okay. Well, hey, if that's the case, where do you want to start? It sounds like you got something on your mind right now.
So I want everyone to understand that I am a huge advocate for football officials because
Oh, here we go.
I, I'm a football
Yeah.
official.
True, he is.
The NFL has got to get this corrected. So there were not one but two highly questionable roughing the passer calls in the past 2 days. Of course, we saw Tom Brady's against Atlanta. Of course, Atlanta was driving; they were down 21-0. They come back. They're down 21-15. They're ready. They're pumped up, ready to go. Needed a third and long stop, and they get it. Perfectly clean sack. I have seen sacks 20 times worse than that in my entire lifetime. And the flag gets thrown because Tom Brady gets up and starts crying like a baby about it, which I thought was completely low of him, if you want to put that. That was really low of Tom Brady. And then, of course, last night we had who was it? Derek Carr got sacked, and there was a loose ball. That was not roughing the passer. None of those were roughing the passer. I understand this whole ordeal of protecting the quarterbacks. I'm all for it. I have seen quarterbacks get hit hard and it not be roughing the passer. I've seen quarterbacks very rarely get hit, and for some reason, a referee will throw a roughing the passer. Again, I am all for protecting officials. I'm all for protecting the quarterback. I'm all for protecting the integrity of the game. But there's got to be a line that is drawn because now the defenders are already having to adjust to the game as it is due to the rules that there are. I mean, you can have defensive holding on a running play, for crying out loud. It's a freaking running play. There's going to be holding all over the damn place.
True.
But now that we have to make this kind of adjust, there's got to be this line where this is roughing the passer, this is not. I literally saw a defender take Tom Brady's legs out from underneath him on a throw. No roughing the passer was called there, but a defender wraps him around, literally rose to the ground. He didn't even slam him to the ground. He rolled on the ground. Roughing the passer called. They have got to get this corrected because, and I'm not going to say that cost Atlanta the game because Atlanta was down 21-0 in the fourth quarter. They should have not been in that. They put themselves in that situation. But what I will say is that cost them a chance to win the game. So it just, like I said, they gotta get this right.
We did have Jacob and Shane join. Jacob, how you doing? How you feeling, man?
A long day at work today.
I think that's all of us right now. Ricky and I are already talking about that. That is all of us right now.
It's a good thing we're not starting at 5 like we used to. I mean, because I probably wouldn't have made it.
Yeah,
No,
right.
I definitely would not have made it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Shane, what about you? Is your mic working now? Can we hear you?
Can you hear
Yes, we hear Shane. Full
Oh,
house,
yes.
baby. Full house. Let's go. The
me?
boys are
I
back
honestly
together.
have no idea what I fucking did. I was just clicking settings, moving stuff back, switching stuff around. So if anybody in the fucking chat, anybody who watches this in the future, if you are an audio tech guy, please hit me the fuck up. I will pay for your services. I need my shit figured the fuck out.
Shane,
Please.
I'll just come
I
over.
can tell you right now. Smash that piece of shit you got and get a different one.
Shane, I'll come over and I'll look at stuff for you.
Nah, there's
Listen,
got to be something small, dude.
It's not my computer. I have a $4,000 computer.
Yeah, he did just get a new computer recently.
Yeah, I have a $4,000 computer. It's not my computer. It's not like drivers or anything. Those are all up to date. Like my USB ports are all good. Like it's nothing. Like I've done system checks after system checks. It's not my computer. It's literally either my headset settings as far as like in my software for my headset because I have a Corsair HS570X, which is a pretty decent headset, but it is also Bluetooth and wired, so settings can get fucked up. And then I also think that there's something along with my bass settings as far as my bass sound settings in my computer. Because I also use Voice Meter Potato for when I stream and stuff. So anyways, yeah.
Well, just whatever you do, even though I would love to see your beautiful smiling face, do not turn your camera again because I fucked it up the first time before we started.
Yep.
So just
I'm leaving it off.
Just leave it
I'm
off.
leaving it
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
You know what? My little profile picture will be good enough. You can just sit there and look at my awesome beard
Yeah, there you
that
go.
I don't have right now.
Steve's in the chat. Steve, how you doing? How you feeling? He is also a techie, so he might be someone you can message after the show, and he can assist you in some capacity, or I can come over and look at stuff, either or. But Jacob, Shane, popping into the show now, as you already kind of heard, we are talking about some of the massive officiating issues that we've had this past weekend, especially. You know, just kind of what you boys' thoughts on some of these terrible, terrible calls that have been made over this past weekend.
Nothing can be as worse officiating wise than when we had the interim officiating crew.
I can
when
agree to
they were
that.
doing the lockout.
I can agree to that. That was bad. That was
I mean,
peak.
you also, I mean, that's the thing though. So it's almost like you're putting 5, 6, 7. How many? I can't remember how many officials they do in the NFL. I think they do 7. I think there's 7-man crews in the NFL. So I mean, the rules when you're taking NCAA officials and they're basically untrained to come to the NFL. There's different rules that they have to go by. Everything. I'm just going to put it to you guys this way: the high school level is the rules are a little bit different than what the college football rules are. So, like, you take a targeting penalty, for example. So, targeting does not get reviewed in high school, even if it's a state championship game, and you're not automatically ejected. And targeting is very rarely called at the high school level, unlike, it is in the college level. It just depends on, there's different ways. Here's another one. Pass interference does not give you an automatic first down in college. I'm sorry, in high school, and does in college. So if you're 3rd and 20, you get a pass interference, you get a 15-yard penalty, it's still 3rd down. So that's one of the issues that you're going to see when it comes to officiating. That's why they try to gradually bring you up with veterans. That way, by the time you're a veteran, 5-10-year veteran, you're already going to know exactly what to do. And that's why they got put in that situation, because of the situation the NFL referees were at that time. But yeah, you are right. There is nothing worse than that.
Hey, that was one hell of a year too. That
It
was
was.
just like anything could happen.
That was a wild year.
It's like, bam, someone's head gets chopped off.
5-yard penalty.
We're gonna let that go.
Shane, what about you? What's your thoughts on some of these terrible calls that were made over this past weekend?
I mean, unfortunately, I didn't get to watch anything live, so I just got to catch up on highlights and things I've seen through Twitter and things like that. I mean, the one on Tom Brady makes me the most pissed off, to be honest, because like it was like the least non-egregious thing I've ever seen in my life. He literally just tossed him around, and like he pretty much laid him on the ground, gave him a pillow on a blanket, and they're like, "Nah, it's Tom Brady, throw a flag." So
no, but is that similar type of hit though that gave Tua his second concussion?
That's a good point.
The hit and the takedown was very similar if you look at them.
But if you see the differences though, when he tackled Tom Brady, he swung him around and like laid him on his stomach or on his left side or whatever it was. The one with Tua,
Tom Brady was
the one with Tua, he grabbed him and slung him and threw him on his back. That's what caused his head and neck to cock back and hit the ground. So yes, they were similar as far as like grabbing and like tossing them around, but it was the position that they landed on, which were different. Because when they did that, I mean, yes, I guess it could have still hurt Tom Brady with his shoulder and stuff, but that was the difference is that Tua landed on his back to where it allowed his head to be whipped back. But with Tom Brady and the Patrick Mahomes toss, they both landed on their side, if not on their stomach. I mean, and as far as I've seen, there wasn't any kind of like nobody really like landed on them. I think I could kind of go for the Patrick Mahomes one because by what I see, I did see like the guy pretty much put his body weight on him, and I know that's against the rules. But the Tom Brady one, I didn't see that. So
see, in this little debate we have right now, this is the exact reason why there's a problem with this specific call in the NFL. Is because so many people have different opinions as far as what type of hit deserves that type of a penalty. It's just sometimes you'll get it, sometimes you won't. Who knows?
I also feel like the league and officiating right now is a little trigger happy with it because of what happened with Tua. We're now feeling that right afterwards, where anything that's coming out, the quarterback, whatever, they're a little trigger happy, just out of, hey, this is what happened just here recently. Especially in his case is different than some other cases that we've had with that same sort of concussion. Because I know there was one a couple of years ago on a Texans quarterback. I don't remember the Texan. Tom Savage. Tom Savage had the same. He had the same sort of concussion happen to him that Tua had with the finger thing, right? But also in Tua's case, you look at the Sunday before, and then 4 days later to Thursday that happened. So I feel like I feel like right now
playing.
Yeah, exactly. He shouldn't have even been playing. I feel like that's one thing that we saw this weekend with all the officiating is we saw the officials be a little bit more trigger happy with it because of what happened. That going from that involving the NFL as well, just kind of being a little bit more cautious about various sorts of hits and stuff. Even though they do need to bring them in because a lot of these, like I think all of us can agree, were not penalties, but ultimately were and just kind of hurt the team in a few different ways. But hopefully they can figure it out. The question is, will they? I don't know. Officiating is always going to be a damn question. You know what I mean? Also, shout out to Iggy in chat. Iggy, how you doing? How you feeling? Especially with you now being free of Matt Rule. It also proposes the question: where's Matt Rule going to go in college? We shall see.
Texas A&M.
Fire Jimbo and
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Oh man,
I can see him in Oklahoma too, Jacob.
I'm here in Auburn.
Lots of names floating out there. And also the question is he even going to jump back into it, or is he going to take a year off? I mean, he's getting a lot of money.
He's definitely he's going to jump right back into it.
Okay.
He's just that type of guy.
That's fair.
If you watch interviews with him and everything, football is legitimately his blood.
Okay.
And
that's fair.
as we've seen here recently, jumping from college to NFL just doesn't work. He's a great college coach, just not a really good NFL coach.
Yeah. Him jumping right back in.
And I don't blame him for making the jump either. I don't blame him for making the jump to the NFL. It's the NFL. It's the highest level, that you could actually coach in. But yeah, it was just an epic failure. But yeah, I think he'll be successful wherever he goes.
Hey, look on the bright side. It may have been an epic failure, but it's not Urban Meyer level epic failure. Just remember that.
That is very true.
That is the peak of failures that I've ever seen in my life. But no, it will be interesting to see where he goes. I've seen so many damn teams floated, man. I've seen Auburn. I haven't seen Texas A&M, but that's a good pitch. Oklahoma. I've seen Nebraska is the biggest one that I've seen. Tyler's throwing out Colorado. Who knows? Arizona State is a possibility.
I have seen Wisconsin as well.
Okay, Wisconsin. No, I don't know. We'll see. There's also Georgia Tech out there, but I don't think you'd go down to Atlanta. I will say, speaking of random, very random. While on vacation, I did spend a couple days in Atlanta before I went to Orlando and drove around Georgia Tech campus. That is a very beautiful campus, slap dab in the middle of the city. It was very cool to drive around and see. So that's a little fun fact for you. Beautiful campus. Really enjoyed that. One of the better campuses that I've seen. The worst campus I've ever seen is still Mississippi State. That is still the worst one.
Really?
Starkville's a shithole. Up front, a shithole. Then again, the entire state of Mississippi is a shithole. So with that job where I went down to Mississippi frequently, right? We had some temp team members, right? And one of the temp team members happened to be a former Mississippi State Bulldog. He wasn't a starter or anything. I mean, he was like a third stringer. I mean, he was very upfront about it. Yeah, I was like a four-string, third stringer D tackle. You know what I mean? Upfront about it, right? And he said to me once, he's like, Alex, you know what we did on the weekends at Starkville? I'm like, what? He's like, we either went to Walmart or we went bowling. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like, looking around at this damn town, that sounds about probably accurate because that Starkville's a little shithole. So, but yeah, that's just, anyway, off topic. That's just my opinion though. But yeah, Egos throws out there. Thank God that he's gone. Steve's also kind of going on the Nebraska train here. He's throwing out Nebraska, Colorado, or ASU. I have seen a lot of chat about ASU. I have seen a lot of chat about that. And Iggy also throws out there, probably not going to fix our problems, though. That's true, because the thing about Carolina with Matt Rule being fired is you guys started a rebuild with Matt Rule, and now you're starting another rebuild 3 years later. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Carolina, because I'm going to be real with you. I'm not going to be shocked if they just offload and start from scratch. I don't think C-Mac's going to be there. I don't think DJ Moore is going to be there anymore. I think they're going to clean house and just completely and get draft picks and reload. That is really what I think is going to happen. They're going to offload these contracts, get a shit ton of picks, and go from there. Because I've already seen some talks about C-Mac going to Buffalo. I've seen some chats. I've seen some chatter about that. Haven't seen much about DJ Moore. The only thing I've seen about DJ Moore is the Chicago Bears fan base being very like, "Hey, let's try to get DJ Moore." And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not?
Not gonna happen.
No, it won't happen. It won't happen. But Ryan Poles is sticking to his guns, and he's gonna aim for next year. Glass C-Mac got to go. True. Got to offload C-Mac, man. That with that contract and what he's done since he signed that contract, they got to offload C-Mac for sure. But anyway, still talking about NFL here. What game do we want to kind of jump into and chat about? Because I mean, there's talking points about a few different ones. If we're gonna be real, where are we feeling on this, boys?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm actually just got done shopping on Amazon. I only saw bits and pieces. I heard bits and pieces of that. But I mean, yeah. I mean, we're still talking about Matt Rule, right? Correct. And what Carolina's going to do.
Well, we were talking about that. Yes. Now we were going to hop over talk about some NFL games. But what do you got thoughts on when it comes to Matt Rule?
I mean, like I said, I think he'll definitely jump right back into college ranks. I think he's going to be trying to wait for the right position. He's going to definitely, as far as college ranks, he's going to go to somebody that's going to be in prime position as far as conference wise and recruiting wise to try to get as quickly as an immediate impact as quickly as possible. So you're going to he's probably going to be looking at the lower end Big 10, Big 12, or SEC schools. And right now, my favorite for him to pull in is probably Auburn, to be honest. That's what I've been hearing a lot is he's wanting to go to Auburn. He's wanting to be right there in the thick of things with the SEC West. But then again, who knows? But as far as Carolina goes, I mean, you're right. I think they're going to get to a point to where very soon, here in the next couple of weeks, you're going to see deals being made. You're going to see people finding their ways out of Carolina, and they're going to do a full-on rebuild. I mean, it's going to be like a 5-year rebuild where they're just going to start from scratch, top to bottom.
Steve throws in the chat that Michigan fires Harbaugh and then hires Rule, and I cry. I see no chance Harbaugh gets fired. He would have to really tank. I'm talking.
The only way Harbaugh fires is if he loses to Ohio State this year. That is when a Michigan or an Ohio State head coach gets signed. That is a big point in their contracts. Like, hey, you need to win this rivalry game.
Right
now, if Michigan can go on a streak, that man will stay there for rest of his life if he really wants to.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen.
No, not at this point. No, Ohio State's going to dog walk Michigan up front. What week is that game?
It's the final week.
Okay, 13.
Yep.
I'm excited for 13. I don't know if you guys saw my pitch in our ideas channel, but like for that week, I mean, I'm a big fan of rivalry games. I love picking rivalry games. I love them to death. Don't matter how shitty the teams are. If you're in our pool and you haven't checked yet, I do got New Mexico State on there because I love picking rivalry games, even if they're shit teams. For week 13, we might just pick the whole damn slate. Like I'm not gonna lie, there might not be no 20. Like I'm talking the whole damn slate for FBS, bro. Because, I mean, it's just packed with so many rivalry games, man. I love those. Love them so much. So if you're in our pool and you're struggling on your record, week 13 might be the week for you to try to make a comeback. So looking forward to that. Well, I mean,
I am reading here that it looks like Al Holcomb, the defensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers, is going to be taking over play calling. And also, one of my favorite quarterbacks, PJ Walker, is going to get the start this week.
Really? Well, yeah, Baker was having some issues. Sam's hurt. I think Matt Corral had a season-ending injury, didn't he?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so PJ Walker, shout out. Let's go. XFL MVP. Shout out to PJ Walker. We'll see how that goes. Shout out to Iggy. You have PJ Walker to look forward to because Iggy's saying it's already hard enough to be a Panthers fan. I don't want to hear that, man. Iggy, I love you. You're awesome. But I don't want to hear that. Look at my two favorite teams. I don't want to hear that, man. You're all right. You went to a Super Bowl in the last decade. All right, calm down.
True.
Yeah, you may got some dark times now, but you haven't had dark times like me. Okay. All right. So still talking about NFL. Let's go ahead and we got a couple of Cowboys fans in the house. Why don't we start there? How you guys feeling about your Dallas Cowboys getting a win over the Super Bowl champions? Ricky, can't hear you. And you guys are gearing up for a massive, was it Sunday night or Monday night? Monday night game against the Philadelphia Eagles. So while Ricky's figuring out his mic situation, Jacob, how are you feeling about your Cowboys right now?
Oh, we're heading to a collision course with them Eagles, man. Because now, I'm honestly surprised the Eagles only won by 3 points. I thought they were gonna just blow Arizona out of the water. I'm really shocked it was a close game, but I'm ready. I'm really excited. I really want Cooper Rush to start that damn game because
Run with the hot hand, right?
Trade Dak away, please. For love of God, if Dak comes in and we start losing, I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna be so freaking mad. Jerry Jones did say though that there could be a quarterback competition at practice, but who knows?
Right. Ricky, you back on?
Well,
there he is.
I think so. Yeah. For some reason I don't know. I think I go back in my settings. So I agree with what Jacob said. Because here's the thing, guys. If you guys remember Dak's rookie season, Tony Romo gets hurt.
Yep.
And Dallas starts going on this winning streak with Dak Prescott. Now we're starting to see a trend vice versa. The only thing is, though, Jacob, they're paying Dak Prescott the tons of money for almost nothing if they don't put him on the field as a starting quarterback.
That's fine. Jerry has that money.
My hand,
that is very true.
Hand
that
don't
is very
get
true.
cramps when writing checks.
Exactly.
But here's the thing, though, guys. If this doesn't tell you right here, this is why you don't pay a quarterback $40+ million a year. This is why.
Yeah.
Because we've seen this hidden talent just come up out of nowhere. And how long did Dak hold out for this contract? Quite a while.
Yeah.
So, and the same thing with Zeke Elliott.
Yep.
You don't pay a player, or you don't pay a running back that much money. It's not worth it. You're always going to find some hidden talent, some hidden jewel that's going to be able to carry you out. Because let's just be honest, Cooper Rush has not. I don't think Cooper Rush has a turnover yet.
I don't think,
or at least this season. I think he had one pick last year when he played against Minnesota. Our defense is what's carrying us. But I think with Cooper Rush not making those mistakes, it's helping out even more. Our defense has yet to give up more than 19 points in one single game. Knock on wood. Hopefully that continues.
I'll knock on wood for you.
Right now, we have the bet. Right now, in my opinion, we have the best defense in the NFL right now. And I'll go up against anybody right now with the defense the way that they're playing right now. And hopefully Micah Parsons, hopefully that hamstring injury isn't too serious. Hopefully he'll be okay. But here's the thing, though, guys. Micah Parsons is just the icing on the cake. There are so many defenders, and there's defenders that are injured right now that aren't even that they're not even they're the first string. That we're playing some of the second string guys right now, and they're playing that well. So I'm stoked about this defense. I'm excited about this defense, and so going into Philly is going to be very, very tough. At the beginning of the season, I did have a split in this series, but we'll see what happens this Sunday.
It's going to be a fun one to watch. Looking forward to that one. And I was talking to my boss about it today. As I said on the show before, he's a big Cowboys fan. And basically what you're harping on now is what he was talking about how great this defense is playing. And they are. That defense is playing incredible. When it comes to that quarterback thing, man, you got to roll with the hot hand. You just got to. I mean, you guys did it once before, and obviously it worked out to some extent. You guys had a good season. Didn't win a Super Bowl or anything, but you guys had a good season, and it obviously kind of worked where you are. And, I was even in a situation years ago where it's like, should we run with the hot hand or run with our starter we're paying a ton of money with Jay Cutler and Josh McCown? Josh McCown was 12 TDs, 1 interception, I think, whenever Jay went down for like the 6th time that he went down his time, in those couple of years, whatever. And it was the question, do we stick with Josh McCown or run with Jay Cutler? And I was all in the boat for sticking with Josh McCown. And I've always been a Jay Cutler supporter. So, in these situations, man, you got to stick with the hot hand. You got to. And when it comes to not paying a quarterback a lot of money, I agree with that in 6% of cases, because there are those few cases where a guy is just worth it. when he proves that he's worth it. You know what I mean? Dak, to me, has not proved that he's worth the money he got. The money that KC is paying Patrick Mahomes, Patrick, take it. He's already proved it by winning a championship. He's already proved it by going back to a championship. He's already proved it by winning a league MVP. Patrick, take your cash, man. You're good. We want you here for 10 years. But Dak hasn't proved that. Deshaun hasn't proved that when he got the contract he got with Cleveland. Granted, his last year before everything happened, he did lead the league in passing yards. Congratulations. Matt Stafford got over 5,000 yards at one point. Eli Manning got almost 5,000. Ben Roethlisberger almost got 5,000 and got over 5,000. Drew Brees got over 5,000 94 times, and he wasn't paid that sort of money. So it's like, if you're going to pay a quarterback a shit ton of money, I feel like they need to be able to prove it in multiple accolades, whether it be most notably championships, or at least really competing for championships. And that's one thing that Dak hasn't been able to do with you guys, is you're not competing for championships. And that's why the money thing with Dak.
You look at the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, that's another example with Aaron. You won one Super Bowl in 2011. Great job. What have you done since?
Yeah, and of course we've seen it. We've seen his playoff performances ever since then. His playoff performances have been subpar.
Yep.
He's mediocre when he comes to playoffs now. And Green Bay, guys, is not one of these big markets. They are a mid-sized market, if that.
Yep.
And all their money right now is going to Aaron Rodgers because they didn't want him to leave. And I get that to an extent, but at the same time, it's like there's got to be a time you got to cut your ties.
Yeah, especially when you have a quarterback you drafted in the first round.
Exactly. There's a reason you drafted Jordan Love. You thought Aaron Rodgers was going to be gone before then, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, but they found out exactly what type of player Jordan Love was going to be, and
I don't think Jordan Love's going to be good. I will agree to that. But you still drafted him in the first round for a reason.
Yep.
There's more than one draft. There's a draft every year, though. There's
true.
quarterbacks that come out every damn year.
Yep.
Yeah,
every
but
year we see quarterbacks.
Hey, listen, you gotta look at it like
ever in a good position though to get one of the top quarterbacks in a draft. They never are. They're always.
You don't have. I disagree.
Up at least.
Hey,
I disagree because what top quarterback has done anything here lately?
Trevor Lawrence
from a. Oh. Goodness. No.
Oh man. Hey, speaking of Trevor.
This year, yeah. Oh.
Listen, speaking of Trevor's under fire right now on Jaguars Twitter. Like he is he is under fire right now. And do you want to know why he's under fire?
Because they lost to Houston.
Well, yes, but no. He is under fire for one reason and one reason alone. It's because people are comparing him to the greatest quarterback of all time, Gardner Minshew, because Trevor Lawrence has now played 22 games for Jacksonville, just like Gardner played 22 games for Jacksonville, and they're now comparing stats, and Gardner has beat him out in every category.
So hang on, let me. I'm going to defend Trevor Lawrence.
Also, Gardner Minshew needs a starting job.
Gardner Minshew did not play for Urban Meyer.
No, he didn't. But also, speaking of that, I saw someone comment I saw someone comment on that. It's like, can you imagine if Gardner played under Urban and how Urban would have handled that? I was like, that would have been its own show, let alone the Urban show. Is Gardner and Urban would have been a sight to see.
So,
give me Hard Knocks on that.
So before my mic went out, which I still don't know how the hell it went out, but it went out. So we were talking about the Carolina Panthers and who was it that's starting this weekend?
PJ Walker, XFL MVP.
PJ Walker. And so I said the only thing that would make this even better is if they traded for Gardner Minshew, and Gardner Minshew could start for the Carolina Panthers. I mean, and now because it seems like every freaking week we talk about Gardner Minshew.
If that's the case,
every damn week, he doesn't even play.
Listen,
we talk
if that's the case, hammer the Carolina Panthers going all the way to the Super Bowl, led by that beautiful bastard Gardner Minshew.
if it came down to having to sacrifice PJ Walker starting for Gardner, no, I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Come on,
that's
man.
Where my hype for Gardner Minshew ends.
My hype will never end. Put Gardner on any team as a starter. They're going to the Super Bowl, baby. I'm gonna hammer those odds.
I'm gonna remember you said that. I'm gonna remember that.
Good. Do it.
October 11th, 2022, Alex says, put Gardner Minshew on any football team.
Any team.
And they go to the Super Bowl.
Bingo.
Also, speaking of, by the way, we were talking about the Jaguars and everything. Can we get a round of applause for a fantastic end of the career for Mr. Blake Bortles?
Yep, the GOAT.
Hey, you made it to an AFC Championship.
Shout out to the
game!
GOAT. Shout out to the GOAT. One of the greatest playoff runs. You know, hey, he was electric those playoffs, bro. Electric. He was one quarter away from going to the Super Bowl. No interceptions that whole playoff time, dude. He was on. That was the one and only time in his career he was on fire. It was that close. I will never forget because they reshare it almost every fucking year because of how odd it is. But I will never forget, like, you know, NFL or ESPN or whoever always put up like those artworks, you know, of players for various situations, whatever. I will never forget the one they put up for that championship weekend photo where it's Nick Foles, Case Keenum, Blake Bortles, and Tom Brady. I will never forget that photo of just like of an oddball group of people going to the championship games, except for Tom.
It was a dad and all three of his kids.
Basically. Basically. And the dad, of course, being Nick Foles since he won the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. Big dick Nick Foles.
Yep. Okay, so let's hop over to this because we're talking quarterbacks and stuff. 'Cause I'm kind of curious you guys' thoughts on this. The Tennessee-Washington game. What do you guys think about the comments from Ron Rivera after the game? Because that's been a lot to talk about.
Completely unprofessional.
I agree.
Which is surprising
100%.
coming from one of the more professional head coaches in the league.
I agree 1,000%. Because, like, the thing that baffles the shit out of me about those comments, and he further tried to clarify it where, you know, oh, this is Carson's, you know, first year here and stuff. Okay, this is Daniel's first year with that system under a first-year head coach ever. Okay, Cooper Rush is a fucking backup, and you see it comes down to coaching. Is what it comes down to, not just your quarterback. Carson played incredible until that like last quarter. Okay, for that game, Carson played incredible. Yep. Like, you know, for him just immediately say quarterback, just for him to have the gall to go up there and say that is, like you said, horribly unprofessional from one of the more professional coaches in the league, and just is horribly inaccurate, especially because like the question, of course, was, you know, what separates you guys from the rest of the division, because everyone else is, you know, 5-0 or 6-0 and you know 4-1 for the other two teams, and they're 1-4. He's a quarterback. That's a shit answer in my opinion.
People tend to forget Nick Foles won that Super Bowl. Carson Wentz basically got him there.
Yep.
If you remember that, if you remember that season,
he was having an MVP season.
Carson, he was having an MVP season. And, of course, that's the one thing about Carson Wentz is it's always going to be a what-if thing for Carson Wentz because the injuries that he has just had over his career have really set him back. But, yes, I agree with both of y'all. That it was totally unprofessional. And I just out of character for a guy like Ron Rivera.
And it's weird because Carson is literally top 5 for passing yards and passing touchdowns.
Yep.
He's not playing bad ball whatsoever.
Yep.
It's just a bad team.
It's just an overall bad team, and the first two people to get blamed are head coaches and quarterbacks. And if the head coach is pointing a finger at the quarterback, then quarterback's kind of taking the fall for it.
Yeah, and in Carson's case, the thing about him as well is that it's a popular trend to just immediately blame Carson. You know, like that's been a popular trend for years now, is the media likes to immediately blame Carson when you look at the stats, the guy hasn't really played bad, you know, but the problem is, though, when he's bad. And that's the problem. Yeah, there is no like mid-level for him. He's either fucking great, he's good, or he's bad. And that's the problem. And that's why he, you know, it's a popular trend just to immediately roast him. And I don't know, those comments, man, were just like the fact that, you know, the bigger story from that game is not the bigger story post that game is really depressing, which, of course, being the Brian Robinson thing. Shout out to him for making a great comeback there. That should be the bigger story, even though he didn't do a lot in the game, unfortunately. But, you know, that is the bigger story, but it's now overshadowed because of this. Also, Shane, is your mic working? Are you still there? Just wanted to make sure.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I just wanted to confirm.
Now, I will be honest. I was on the train this past offseason when they picked up Carson and just completely removed the starting position from Taylor Heineke. I was pissed. I was so pissed because Taylor Heineke was a great quarterback last year.
Yeah.
For what it's worth. And I think that Heineke deserved that starting position going into this season, but then they picked up Carson Wentz.
Right. Yeah.
And
No.
Sam Howell is still lurking in the third spot for them too.
Oh yeah, he is, isn't he?
Yep.
I forgot about that. If we're gonna be completely honest.
That's a big yikes because that was one of the better college quarterbacks when he was around.
Yeah, true.
Stat wise, at least. Stat wise.
Well, talking about Carson, let's talk about his former team, that Thursday night game we had from last week, Indianapolis and Denver. What the hell is going on with Shane? What is going on with your Broncos? Broncos country, let's ride. Yeah, let's ride into a ditch. What's happening, man, over there in Denver?
I mean, at this point, it's a reality TV show starring Russell Wilson.
Fair.
I mean, frankly, dude doesn't put up. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was no touchdown scored. He played terrible. Like it's a continuing trend just for Russell Wilson to, like I said 2 or 3 weeks ago. He's an actor playing acting out a
You did
career
say that, yeah,
in
yeah.
the NFL. Like at this point, like I don't know what it is or who or I don't know. Russell Wilson has lost all cognitive power and threads to reality at this point. Like, how can you lose a game like that and then be like, Broncos country, let's ride.
Yeah,
we'll get
in the
'em next
press
week."
conference,
Like,
the dude
no.
still has the
Like,
ball.
you-
Say Broncos
Like, you
country,
can't do
let's
that.
ride.
Like, I'm sorry, you can't do that.
Another
I'm s-
prime example of why you don't pay a quarterback that much money. They gave him an extension of like 40 something million
Yep.
dollars a year, and the dude, oh goodness gracious, I can't say enough
Especially-
of how disappointing it is. He is he should be a 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Yes.
And he's not. He's a 1-time Super Bowl champion because he had Pete Carroll as his head coach in Seattle. With all due respect, I can't stand Pete Carroll, but they did earn those Super Bowl. Well, they did earn that one Super Bowl victory, and Pete Carroll's coaching is what cost them in that loss to
100%.
New England. But Russell Wilson has not been a great performer at the quarterback position for a very long time now, it seems. And I said this before, and I'll say it again: they were better off with Drew Lock.
Oh.
I mean, I
They
mean,
were
in a
better
sense,
off.
I agree. But I mean, even on the flip side, you have Geno Smith playing for the Seahawks, who, in my opinion, has a worse team than what Russell Wilson has in Denver. It may not be that much worse, but it is worse.
It
And
is
Geno's
worse.
playing better.
It's
than
a
Russell
worse
Wilson is
it's a
right now.
worse team, but better coaching. Better
Mm.
coaching can make a worse team good enough to win.
You know, and that's also interesting because I have seen a lot of rumors that apparently Russell was just insufferable to deal with in Seattle those last couple of years. But then again, when you're giving the guy no help on the offensive line, I mean, and no help in the backfield, really, I mean, I can see where you're trying to push and prod, like, hey, we need some help here on the offense, and they're just not doing it. But I have seen a lot of rumors that Russell was just like insufferable those last couple of years in Seattle. And there was like multiple like triggering points that kind of like tipped it off, you know, whether if it be like, you know, Seattle going and scouting, you know, one high prospect quarterback's combine. I don't remember who it was or whatever the situation was. Just one thing after another just further led to drive a nail between that relationship. But now it feels like, you know, with what Shane's talking about with the coaching, now that Russ is gone, it's like, all right, let's actually coach well again.
Also, I am so
And-
sick and tired of seeing the Broncos in primetime football.
Yeah, bro,
Get
that's
them
got that
off
that
of
needs to
prime
stop.
time, damn it.
And we have them again. I think that one's the Monday night. Dallas is the Sunday
Yeah,
night game.
yeah,
So this upcoming
yep.
Monday night is fucking Denver again. I think it's Denver and LA. Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
Chargers.
Oh god,
Lord have mercy.
I mean,
here.
yeah. Again,
Can we start flex scheduling?
Again, I put this comment back out there. It's reality TV.
Yep.
Denver Broncos featuring Russell Wilson, and it's been a terrible reality show. I mean, let's bring back Jersey Shore for 25th season. I'd much rather watch that
Let's relax.
at this point.
Let's relax.
But I mean, going back to that Thursday night game, I mean, yeah, I mean, there was a buku of pictures and videos of like Russell Wilson's in there like drinking his Gatorade, looking at his tablet, and his players are like his teammates are walking by him like with disgust on their face. Like, did you see like that
Yep.
picture of like Melvin
Yep.
Gordon like just like looking at him?
Yep.
He was like, bro, like what the fuck are you doing, bro?
Yep.
Like I don't know.
I don't know. That Denver team and Indy team both, man, they got a lot of problems they got to figure out. Like,
Two
Right, for
teams
Garner
coming into the
Minshew.
season that were
hyped.
picked to be a Super Bowl favorite.
Hyped.
Two teams that
Yep.
were thinking about going to the Super Bowl, but yikes.
And,
They could always trade for Garner Minshew.
they could, and they'll
True.
go to the Super Bowl.
True.
Easy peasy. One-way ticket.
Although Denver has another favorite of mine waiting as a backup, Brett Ripien. So
Oh, okay. The Ripster. I'm here for that. Okay. I want to jump over to this while we're talking about Denver AFC West and stuff. Let's talk about that big AFC West matchup last night. How are we feeling about Vegas right now with the comeback that they blew? How are we feeling about KC still, and obviously how are we feeling about Devontae Adams with that ridiculous situation that he created?
he did apologize, which, I mean, who knows how wholehearted that apology was, but just the fact that he apologized was nice. And that game right there will solidify what this Las Vegas Raiders team is this year. Good enough, but not quite great to win.
I can agree with
I
that.
was on the high fence for this Las Vegas team this year. All because you had it. I mean, let's just face it. Josh McDaniels is a decently offensive genius when it comes to offense.
Yep.
And you bring in a guy like Devontae Adams that was supposed to complete this entire thing. And I understand that they've only played 5 games, but they're 1-4. They're 1-4, and they should be 4-1. Point blank and simple, because they just keep letting either let big leads go, or they get so far behind they try to come back and they blow it either way. So this is, I mean, it just is what it is at this point. And I'm sorry, Josh McDaniels should not be head coaching right now. He's probably one of the ones that could get canned at the end of the year if they don't perform to the par level that they expect to. They could can him.
Shane, were you gonna say something?
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna kind of start on what Devontae Adams did at the end of the game by shoving the cameraman. I mean, for one, you got to realize and have a state of mind that guy's just doing his job, right?
Yeah, 100%.
But also, that guy's got to have a state of mind to not put a camera in somebody's face in a situation like that. Coming from somebody that I'm pretty sure all of us have played or have been around football long enough. When even if you haven't played football, even if you're watching your team play a game like that and lose a game like that, how frustrated and pissed off you are. A player in that situation is going to be 25 times more than upset and frustrated than what you are. And to have a camera guy in your face with a camera trying to get an interview or trying to get a still shot or whatever it may be of your pain and sorrow, like I mean, it can definitely send a guy to do something like that. So was it wrong? Yes, but there was wrongs on both ends, not just Devontae Adams, because it's understandable and where he's coming from. Now, like I said, was it right? No, but also there was some wrongs with the cameraman. And as far as the
I
Raiders,
100% disagree with everything you just said, because the simple fact is you're dealing with a multimillionaire coming off the field. You already have athletes, Shane, that think they're above the law. That's why Deshaun Watson's in the situation that he's in right now. And yes, that cameraman did file charges. He did file police
Yeah, he
charges
did.
on Devontae Adams. Point blank and simple, yes. I will agree with you to the part as far as, like, camera getting shoved in your face, things like that. I understand that. But you are a professional athlete. You have young people that are looking up to you and doing certain situations. And just like I said, athletes already believe they're above everybody else just because they're an athlete playing football. And yes, that's the case. We've seen it for many, many years. That cameraman probably doesn't even get paid 6 figures. He might get paid about $50,000-$60,000 a year to do what he does, compared to a guy who's making millions of dollars. So I don't care what the situation is. You should not put your hands on anyone. Point blank, simple, point range. No, he should not have. He needs to be more professional than that.
I mean, I agree. I don't think you should just go around this hitting people because you're pissed off and having a hissy fit that your team sucks. I mean, I completely agree with that. But the thing is, though, like, okay, just say you lose a basketball game, Ricky, you miss a game-losing shot, and then you having all these reporters come up to you or whatever it may be, Like, and you say no comment, no comment, no comment. You're just trying to get back to the locker room, yada yada yada. And then there's one guy that just happens to, ignore everything you're saying and puts a camera in your face. Like, I understand that you have to recognize that you're a professional and all of that. I completely agree. But in the basis of that moment, like, you're a football player, whether you're a high school, college, professional, whatever it may be, you're a professional football player that just lost the game for however you just did it, blowing a 17-point lead, not happy with it. Do I agree with what he did? No, absolutely not. But I understand how emotions can kind of overwhelm that moment, especially when you can still get your shots with not putting a camera in somebody's face.
It wasn't even in his face though. Like he wasn't even close. Like all he did was set up his camera, took a picture. Next thing you know, he gets shoved. If that was the case, he was just point blank in his face. Then yes, I would understand it. But that wasn't even the case. The case was he was in his way. All he was doing was taking a simple picture. Hey, if anybody wants to take a picture of me, whether I win or lose, hey, write it down, take a picture. I don't care. Hey, I'll be more than glad to give you an interview, okay? Hey, we suck tonight. I'll be honest. We just suck tonight.
No, I can see what Shane is saying in regards of like in that situation, we can make sense of the logic that led to that, even if we don't agree with it. I see what he's saying in that regard. But at the same time, it's like it shouldn't have happened, like up front. And him pressing charges, good on him. Devontae's probably going to get obviously fined and probably suspended. Good on that as well. It needs to happen because hey, listen, we're not in high school, okay? We can't just go beat someone up or push someone or do whatever, get suspended, and then just get a slap on the wrist and you're done. This is the real. We're adults here. You just can't do that. You just can't. There's gonna be repercussions.
Speaking of which,
Uh-oh.
this past Friday night, a quarterback told one of my fellow officials, it wasn't me, because had it been me, I probably would have guts. But he told one of our fellow officials to shut the fuck up, and he's getting suspended.
That high school kid's got some balls.
He does, but I've been told and that's the thing. This certain kid, I'm not gonna tell you on the team or anything like that,
Yeah.
not on the air anyway. But he's being looked at by colleges, some smaller D2 colleges. From my understanding, he's hard to deal with. He's a hard-headed kid.
Uh-oh. Shut the fuck up. But yeah, I mean, it shouldn't have happened. Hopefully the suspension and fine comes down as it justly should. But in terms of just Vegas as a whole, it's like what Jacob already said. That's kind of my stance on it. Is they're good, but they're just not good enough. And in terms of KC, to me, this just continues to prove KC is KC, and losing Tyreek Hill didn't mean a damn thing. I mean, coming into this year, even Patrick made a joke up front. He's like, "I'm sorry to fantasy owners, but the ball's gonna be going everywhere." And we've seen consistency to Kelsey. Obviously, he had a massive night with 4 tuds. Man, I gotta say, going into last night's fantasy matchup against Iggy, I was getting my shit wrecked, but man, Kelsey actually almost brought it back for me. I was gonna lose my mind if I somehow won that matchup thanks to Kelsey alone. But it didn't happen. But anyway,
My fantasy was flipped too because like I was up by like 40 to 50 points, and then here comes fucking airing it out
yeah.
with Devontae Adams scoring 32 and almost beat me. I'm like, bruh.
And now Shane, me and you are going head to head this week.
I know.
Yeah. Jacob,
The same record. I have the same record as the Cowboys. I was 0-1, then I've won my last 4 games. So, yeah. Shout out to that.
Your team name is still accurate. Ricky won't get last place, but Jacob, we'll get you in the fantasy league next year. It is a requirement if you're going to be a host in the show to be in this fantasy league.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Timing-
And
timing
I
obviously
was
didn't
down
work out.
25 points going into that game yesterday for my fantasy league, and Patrick Mahomes ended up throwing 4 touchdowns. So that was
Patrick Mahomes
great.
is a
that
guy.
was great. And the guy had Darren Waller as his tight end and
Ooh.
laid a big fat goose egg.
Yikes. No, and in terms of Patrick Mahomes, and the Chiefs, like they still continue to prove they're the Chiefs. And right now, even though we came into this year of like, oh my God, the AFC is wide open, I feel like that's no longer the case. I feel like it's down to 2 at this current point. I know we're only a few weeks in, and that could very easily change. But right now, I feel like we're down to 2, and those 2 are headed for a massive collision course this weekend with Buffalo and KC, and I'm pumped to watch that game. That is going to be a very intense game to watch.
I honestly hope to God that we get another 52 to 48 game.
Like
Please.
and lose
Please.
by one team lose by 13 seconds. Yeah. I don't know, man.
I still think there's 4 teams in the AFC that are
Is the Ravens
vying
one?
for that AFC Championship game.
Is the Ravens one?
Yeah, the
Okay.
Ravens are one.
What's the other one then? What's the fourth
The
one?
Bengals.
Okay. Okay.
And that's not a bias towards me. I just think that they're doing what they were doing last year.
And it
They
worked
started
last
out
year.
a little iffy, and now they're just revving up the engine.
Right. I got you. Bengals need to figure out the O-line stuff still. Yeah, I know it's like all this work they did in the offseason didn't mean a damn thing. But I mean, hey, it worked for him last year. Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times against the Titans in the playoffs and still won. So,
yeah.
but it did cost him the Super Bowl, obviously. If he would have just had
Yeah,
1
as soon as
second
I saw
more,
Justin
Bengals would have
Tucker-
won.
Yeah, as soon as I saw Justin Tucker 40-yard attempt, like this is like a 5-yard attempt for
Yeah.
him. It's going in.
Yep.
I should just turn it off.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it was right down the middle.
Yeah.
The GOAT.
I
The
saw
GOAT
a
of
joke about
kickers.
that, about how like he always just hits it down the middle. It's just like what Justin Tucker sees, and someone put up the old AFL double square field goals, and he's just hitting it right down the middle. It's like that's what Justin Tucker sees. I'm like, shit. Basically, by the time he retires, he will be the greatest of all time when it comes to kicking. I mean, I already consider him that. I mean, the dude's a
Yeah.
freak.
I still have one kicker over him, Adam Vinatieri.
That's fair. See, Adam Vinatieri is a fair one to throw out there. There's a Morton Anderson's a fair one.
Yeah.
There's a few others, but I'm drawing a blank, honestly. But yeah, Adam Vinatieri is still a fair one, especially considering Adam Vinatieri has the most points scored in NFL history. So,
Yeah, and he single-handedly won 2 Super Bowls for Tom Brady.
and that's the big thing. And you know, once Justin Tucker has his chance and has his moment, then it'll be a different story. But you know, Adam Vinatieri, you know, he's been there, done that. So, yeah, that's a very fair one. So there's so many other things that we could chat about when it comes to NFL, but we are now an hour into the show. So I'm gonna do a last call here on NFL. Any other games that we really want to highlight and talk about something on? If not, we'll hop over and talk about some college.
Nope. Still hype on the Eagles. They're still undefeated. They're still going to win the division. Let's move on.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Excuse
Hey,
me.
Yeah.
We'll be first in the division after this week. It's fine.
Hey, big matchup. Can't wait for it.
It's a great weekend for football,
It is.
college, and NFL.
Dude, it is. We're stacked with games in college, lots of ranked matchups, lots of big ranked matchups that really mean something. And we've got some really good NFL matchups this weekend. You know, KC Buffalo and Dallas Philadelphia being 2 that I'm keeping my eye on right now. But hey, look on the bright side though. We get to start this wonderful weekend of pro football with a dog shitter on Thursday night of Washington and Chicago. Go Bears, baby. It's going to be a shit game. Oh, God. I feel so bad for, God, I just lost his name. Al Michaels. Dude takes this big fat check to go to Thursday Night Football, and he just keeps getting shitters. He just keeps getting I saw a joke about that, by the way, where it's just like, you know, obviously it's Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit, and Al, you know, it's just like someone made a joke that Al Michaels is like, I can't believe I'm having to commentate these shit games. And then meanwhile, someone made a joke that Kirk Herbstreit's just sitting there staying quiet because he's used to it, because he's got to watch a log. He's commentated a lot of Big Ten West games. And I'm just like, fucking true, man. Big Ten West is good. Fucking true, man. All right. You know, so anyway, last call on NFL. Any other games you want to highlight real quick? If not, we'll head over to college.
Let's go to college.
All right, let's go to college. So, big L for me, big dub for Jacob, and big L for you two as well.
Yeah, big L for all of us, you know.
Yeah.
I fucking hate Arkansas.
Not all of us. Hold on now. Not all of us. Don't rope me in with you guys now.
Jacob got that big. Yeah, the thing
You
about
haven't played anybody yet.
yeah, okay, now I will say he is right. The only real challenge you guys have had, I feel like, was Notre Dame, but you know, especially with where Michigan State's been this year. But the thing is about Ohio State though, is that they have continuously looked dominant, like nonstop.
And
You know, unlike Bama and Georgia.
I will say this much. And
We lost.
where's the
you.
Bible at?
Oh,
I gotta
okay,
find my Bible.
Okay, he's
I
got
gotta find the
to find the Bible.
The number 1 team in college football right now is Ohio State, and it's not even close.
Yep.
I will say that much.
Yep.
It's Ohio State, and it's not even close.
Yep.
Ohio State has been the most accurate team. And that's the thing. They're dominating teams that they're supposed to win, that they're supposed to dominate.
Yep.
They're not. You don't really see them struggle a whole lot. I mean, yeah, we saw the Notre Dame game, but that was week 1. No one gives a crap about it anymore.
Yep,
But as
that's
far as
long
like the
gone.
whole entire season, this entire season is going exactly the way that me and Alex thought it would at the very beginning of the season when I said Ohio State's probably going to go 12-0 and they could win the national championship. And right now they're my favorite to win the national championship.
Mine
As
too.
much as I hate them,
Yeah,
they're my favorite to win the national championship.
they are officially the betting favorite for the title.
Yep.
As
I
of
mean,
this
I
week.
mean, I
Yeah.
said it last week that Ohio State was the #1 team because they're not playing any talent, but they're dominating their
That's the
talent
thing,
like
is
they're
they're
supposed to.
dominating
Like,
them.
I mean, with the Big Ten, it's clearly Ohio State and everybody else, and they're beating up on them like they're supposed to. So
Exactly.
And once again, the AP poll gets it wrong.
Yep.
How do you put Georgia #1?
Yep.
It's just like, is there any kind of logic to this entire thing?
No.
You play a close
Zero.
game at Missouri. At Missouri, and then this past weekend, it took you 4 quarters to finally who they play this past weekend. I don't even remember. Who gives a damn? And it took them 4 quarters just to put. Now, what are we doing here? I mean, come on. We've got to have some better people that do this crap. And then you put Texas back in the top 25 because they shut out Oklahoma. Come on, people.
Georgia played
Slow
Auburn.
your roll a little bit.
Georgia played
Do what?
Auburn. Auburn is who that Georgia played.
Oh, that's the worst team in the SEC right now besides Missouri.
My prediction, though, I will say for you Razorbacks in the chat here,
Oh.
my prediction is
We're not
coming
talking
true.
about the Razorbacks right now, Jake.
My prediction is coming true
We're-
that
hey,
after that Texas
it
A&M
hasn't come
loss,
true
there
yet.
was 5 more losses to come.
That
your
is
guys'
true.
way.
It
hasn't
So
come-
far,
That is true.
So far, there's 2 out of 3.
Yep.
Or 2 out of 5. I mean.
Listen up, Ed Sheeran. Go back to playing your music. Go back to playing your music. It hasn't come true yet, my friend. It hasn't come true yet.
Oh, but
Hey.
it's coming true right now. It has been foretold, the prophecy of
Yes.
the Razorbacks just being one of the worst teams in the SEC this year.
Oh man, goodness gracious! When you're right, you're right. That's just the sad
Hey,
part of
look,
it, man.
Ricky,
Oh my
Ricky,
God.
listen. I'm with you. I'm with you, brother. Miami's been dog shit. I'm with you.
What the? I mean, it's like this, man. I'm telling you, God, this is what happens when we have high expectations.
I
'Cause
know.
and here's the thing, and Shane would probably back me up on this. We had every right, we had every reason to believe that we had high expectations this year.
You guys
Everything
did, yes.
was going our way. All we did was lose Traylon Burks on the offense. We lost a couple others, but big time was Traylon Burks.
Yep.
But yet we
Huge.
still have receivers that can be playmakers. We have an offensive line that's actually halfway decent. Our defense is dog shit. It's worse than dog shit. It's worse than Vanderbilt, man. And Vanderbilt could probably beat us right now, man. This is how sad. If anybody
Ricky's
would
a
have
broken
told
man
me
right
that
now.
I have to rely on the Dallas Cowboys to have a good football season this year. And by God, that's what I'm having to do is rely on my Dallas Cowboys just to even have a good season this year. What are we doing up on the hill? What do we do? I don't understand. I don't understand it. We do the same thing over. We put no pressure, 0 pressure on Mississippi State's quarterback, who I cannot think of because I'm going on this rant right now.
Will
Will
Rogers.
Rogers. Will Rogers.
Will Rogers. I knew it was one of the damn Wills. Anyway, so we put hardly any pressure on this guy. I think we blitzed maybe twice the entire game, and all they did was take a running back out of the backfield, and he caught it with he had 10 yards in front of him before anybody even caught up to him. It's absolutely insane. It's ridiculous, and it hurts my head just to even think about
Arkansas is
this.
gonna
This
be
is
Arkansas.
absolute crap.
Arkansas
here's
is
the
gonna be
funny thing.
Arkansas.
Here's the funny thing, and I'll let Shay talk. So here's the funny thing. We're favored to beat BYU this weekend. Do you think I'm gonna fall for that?
BYU's gonna get that dub, even though I still think they're
Oh
overrated.
man, we're favored by 1.5 against BYU, and this is
Ooh.
exactly.
Ooh, those are
Yes,
actually some
we're
good
favored
odds.
by
Hold up
1.5.
now. Hold up.
And
Let me pull up
I'm
my
like,
app.
oh,
Let me pull up my app. That's some good odds,
okay,
baby.
okay. I'm gonna calm down. I'm gonna calm down now. Shane, go ahead, my man.
okay, I'm gonna be more calm because it
okay.
comes down to logic here. I'm pretty sure I'll bet $20 on this. If you go to an episode sometime in the off season when transfers were coming out, coming in, and we lost Greg Brooks, we lost Joe Fouché, we lost two defensive linemen. I remember specifically, I said that if we were going to have an issue, it was going to come in the secondary. Guess what? It's that's our main issue is the secondary. They tried to help out by with Mississippi State by playing this umbrella defense is what they were calling it on the buzz, which I can see it. We're playing this defense. We're 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 allowing them to get dink 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 yards, but trying to prevent the big play. But we don't have the talent that we had last year in the secondary to prevent that anymore because, well, injuries, and then I don't necessarily agree with some people that are playing right now, and I think there's some better players that, or even better potential players that are on the bench that are not playing right now. But what really hurt us last week is two things against Mississippi State. One, we moved Drew Sanders from the will to the mic. Have no idea why Barry Odom made that call. I don't know why you move Bumper Pool to the outside, move Drew Sanders to the inside. That's dumb. Drew Sanders got nowhere near the quarterback because he was playing that Mike linebacker spot. Especially if he was on the wheel, he's going to be the faster linebacker of the three to to try and keep up with that check down for the running back. So that made no sense to me. On top of that, second of all, coaching. One, why did we keep on playing this 3-2-6, this umbrella defense, getting no pressure on the quarterback when we should have switched it up to I mean, literally LSU wrote the script on how to beat Mississippi State this year, right? And I know for sure Barry Odom and that defensive staff had that footage that they can show the team and build a game plan around, but it didn't happen. And that's my biggest concern.
Well, I think, Shane, one thing that we're also missing, Shane, last year our defensive line was much better than what they were this year. And that was a concern of mine as well as the secondary, Shane, because to me, if our defensive line alone put pressure on the quarterback last year, we don't have that line anymore. So you have to make adjustments like you were talking about to be able to put more pressure up. I mean, it just like I said, we have way too much talent right now, y'all, to be 3-3.
My
Way
my
too
own
much talent to be 3-3.
my only defense to that is, yes, maybe talent wise, we were probably a little bit better on the defensive line this year. But not only were we were still leading sacks coming into this game, but not only
Mhm.
because of Drew Sanders, which again, like I said, Barry Odom made a mistake moving him from the outside to the inside, so that was one issue. But then when you run the 3-2-6, it's hard to get pressure when when you're on the defensive line, right? And not only that, yes, Drew Sanders is leading the country in sacks, but you also have two defensive linemen that are tied for top 7. So our defensive line was producing. That wasn't a massive issue. So I just don't understand the game plan going into that game and not kind of adapting into the game to go more towards what LSU was doing. They were doing the same thing, right? They were doing an umbrella defense, but they were switching it up on downs that were pivotal, right? These third and mids, third and longs,
Mhm.
fourth and shorts. They were sending pressure. They were sending, 4 or 5 guys to get pressure on Will Rogers to make him have to make a decision and not sit back there and dink and dunk to your running back, and things like that. And above all, this is the one big thing that hurt us, especially the last 2 weeks. Usually I'm okay, you know what, we'll give up 300 passing yards. I don't give a fuck. But usually before the Alabama game, we gave up less than 90 yards rushing in a game. The last 2 games, we've given up nearly 700 yards, 800 yards in rushing these last 2 games. That cannot happen along with that secondary. It can't. And then above that, our offense is stale. Our offense isn't going anywhere. Where the fuck is Dominique Johnson? We've seen him one time in this entire year. It's become a fucking shit show. But
Well, I mean, we still have Rockets. I mean, Rocket Sanders, I think has proven that he can carry the load, as far as that goes. But it's more the offensive play calling. The offensive play calling is atrocious, And it's the same thing that we dealt with last year, except last year our defense was able to get the opponent off the field, and now we're just it's both coordinators, in my opinion, Shane. And be honest with you, Shane, if things do not turn around quickly, Shane, to my opinion, I think Kendall Briles and Barry Odom are the first two to go.
They will be,
I agree.
especially when you guys lose to BYU this weekend. Hammered that plus 1.5
Now,
for
don't
BYU.
remind me, man.
Good
Don't
odds right there,
remind
baby.
me.
It just reminds me of when we were doing schedule
Ugh.
predictions, and I went through the Arkansas schedule and predicted every single game to be an L. And then, Jacob threw out his prediction as well that you guys are going to get like 5 more losses. So, I mean, it's happening. I mean, I hope you're ready for, like a 6 and whatever year. Congratulations. But hey, I'm going to be right there with you, Miami, so don't worry. I'm in the trenches with you. We're the three of us are in the trenches together, looking up and admiring Jacob at the top of the mountaintop with the Ohio State Buckeyes winning the national championship.
I will say though,
Oh,
I will
shit
say,
on
I
Ohio
will
State.
Now
say,
you lost, bitch.
I will say, I think you guys played one of the top 4 teams in the SEC this past weekend in Mississippi State. I do think that with them going to be playing Alabama and Georgia within the next few weeks,
Yikes.
they have the possibility of running the table on at least one of those teams. And I think it will be, dare I say, I think it will be Alabama.
Look, if there's Ricky said this going into the Arkansas-Alabama game, if there was going to be a Bama team to get beat, it's going to be this one. And I agree.
Yeah.
Because that's how I feel going into this weekend in Knoxville with Tennessee, is that if there's going to be a Bama team that's going to get beat, it's going to be this one, whether if it's Tennessee getting the dub, Mississippi State getting the dub, or someone else. This is going to be the
They have the
team to beat.
potential of losing 2 games in a row. Over the next couple weeks.
And I also said at the beginning of the season that this Mississippi State team could be a special one. Yet they did have that setback with LSU.
Yeah.
But yet we've seen them rebound from this LSU loss just in the past couple of weeks, and they're doing things now that they did not do against LSU that they're executing even perfect. This could be a very special Mississippi State team, as well as this Tennessee team that Alabama's coming into
I'm
this
so
weekend.
excited for this game, guys. Like Tennessee and Alabama, I'm so excited for it. I cannot stress that enough. I'm so pumped for this damn game, dude. No, Mississippi State's been a pretty solid team to watch. There's a lot of interesting teams in this top 25. I got the AP top 25 up right now, and we already kind of touched on it, how they got it wrong again. Ohio State should be the #1 team in the nation. But, I mean, there are multiple teams on here that I feel like are worth talking about in some capacity, whether if it be Mississippi State, whether it be the undefeated Syracuse, Kansas, obviously. They did take an L. Great game, though. They're still deserving to be ranked. They were deserving to be ranked last week. And then shout out to James Madison. Hey, 6 weeks into FBS, gets ranked for the first time ever. Shout out to that. Let's go, baby. James Robinson's about to run the Sun Belt. Here we go.
And I think they were down. What was it? 28-0
Yeah.
at half against Appalachian State. Came back and won.
Yeah, exactly. And then another team that come week 1 I was very low on, but as these past 2 weeks especially has gone by, has really made me start to question how much do we need to question if this UCLA team is a legit squad or not. Because I wasn't high on them when the season started, but man, these last couple weeks have really shocked me with how they just kind of beat down Utah.
Washington and Utah.
Yeah, Washington and Utah. Utah this past week and Washington week. I mean, they have just been on a roll. So
they got another tough one this week too with Oregon.
Yeah. So I mean, if they get that dub against Oregon, guys, I feel like we got to really start looking at UCLA pretty seriously.
Man, I don't want to though. I do not like Chip Kelly.
I don't like Chip Kelly either. Oh, and Oregon is week 8. They're on a bye this week. I just looked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, either way, week 8, big matchup. Let me look at this. Week 7. Okay, both teams are on a bye from the looks of it. Yeah, both teams are on a bye, and then they're coming out of that bye, coming into week 8 for a massive Pac-12 matchup there. So I mean, it's like, do we need to start looking at the Pac-12 a little bit differently right now with UCLA? Because USC,
no,
I feel like they're in the same realm as Clemson, where it's just like you're ranked very high for other reasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But UCLA is a team that I feel like we need to start watching a little bit in the Pac-12. How are we feeling about it?
Oh yeah, they're definitely a team we need to be watching, but the Pac-12 is still the Pac-12. They're still weak as ever.
Now that is true. They are as weak as ever. But I don't know, man. This UCLA team, it's gonna be something to watch. If they get that dub on Oregon,
UCLA shocked me. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
That's going to be a fun rivalry game later on this year. And I will be more than willing, well, UCLA maybe, USC, I'll be more than willing to welcome them into the Big Ten. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
More competition.
Hey, makes the West actually competitive. Yeah, there you go.
Yes. Yeah.
I see so many comments all the time where it's like shout out to the dumbass who thought it was a good idea to get rid of leaders and legends conferences. Yeah, I see those comments all the time.
I will be honest though, I think within the next few years the Big Ten will probably get rid of the divisions within the conference and go more what the Big 12 used to be.
Big 12 or Big 10?
Big 12, where there's no divisions within the conference, and it's just the top 2 teams play in the conference championship.
Okay, yeah. And, still talking about the Big 10 West and stuff, Illinois got ranked, Bert Balima getting that squad ranked at 24th, so shout out to that. Lots of interesting things on this top 25. TCU, like I already kind of mentioned with Kansas, they got that big dub there. TCU is now poised for a big matchup this weekend with Oklahoma State. And randomly with Oklahoma State, Mike Gundy randomly deciding to drop the little fun fact that he interviewed like 3 times with Tampa Bay years ago. It's like, okay, feels like you're kind of leveraging for an extension right now. It feels like a really random time to drop that little plug that was many years ago. But okay, good to know, man. Appreciate you for dropping that.
They have to finish in the top 10 if he's going to get an extension. They have to.
Yeah.
With how weak the Big 12 is this year, they have to finish in the top 10.
I agree. They especially since the other strong contender going into the season, Baylor's completely dropped out of the top 25 with their couple losses they've got. Oklahoma, is Oklahoma, and Oklahoma. What's happened to them? Jesus Christ! What has happened with Oklahoma? Oh my God! I like I mentioned earlier, I listened to a little bit of last week's show as I could going in and out of attractions when I had service, and I was listening to when you guys were doing picks, and even then Shane's just like Oklahoma's like never lost 3 in a row. Like I just or at least in recent memory is what Shane said. He's like, I'm gonna rock with the Sooners on this one. I was kind of thinking the same thing, and then Oklahoma. Like, what was that game with Oklahoma? Was that Oklahoma giving up on this like current staff, or was that just Oklahoma just flat out just getting outplayed? What was that? Like to be shut out?
Yeah,
that's Oklahoma not being SWAC, man. They're not SWAC.
they're Brent Venables. Brent Venables could be gone after this year.
They're starting to realize they may have picked the wrong coach. Is what we're kind of. Yep.
Yep.
Well, I mean, they lost a ton of talent too. I mean, they lost a ton of talent.
They did. In
And
transfers.
so I mean, that just and transfers and everything like that. So I mean, I didn't even think coming into the season, I think they were ranked preseason ranked 6th or something like that.
High.
I didn't even think I didn't think they should have been that high. I'm like, why are they in the top 25? And I just.
You know what?
They should have never have let Lincoln Riley go.
If Oklahoma fires Britt Venables, I will 100% petition for Arkansas to go after Venables for a defense coordinator position. I don't care. Get him in the defense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why Clemson won their national championships.
That's true. Brett had a lot to do with that. Also with the top 25, I do want to give a special shout out because I love looking at these because it's always entertaining. Shout out to the one person that voted for San Jose State to get ranked. Shout out to that guy.
Morons! I swear to my soul. What kind of a country? What are we living in these days? Goodness gracious!
Shout out to that guy, man. Let's go Spartans.
Arizona that one week though. San Jose State, I could see more so than Arizona.
That is true. Arizona did get one vote that one week. That is true. Hey, shout out to San Jose State, man, led by former Hawaii quarterback Javon Kadora. So shout out to that.
It's always the Hawaii quarterback or Gardner Minshew.
Yeah. I gotta plug it in somewhere, dude. Look, this is a theme, okay, with me on all podcasts. You guys are not alone on this. I want that record. Every podcast, I have something that I find a way to squeeze into the show somehow, some way, in the dumbest way possible. For this show, it now happens to be Gardner Minshew and Hawaii quarterbacks, whatever the case is. For Game Static, it's always Mass Effect or Sonic 06. I find a way to mention them somehow, some way. With Animan Plus, it's always Hitman Reborn. I find a way to loop it into whatever I'm talking about. It's just a theme that I do. Because, the problem is, I do it unintentionally, right? completely unintentionally. But once someone starts pointing it out, I've got to do it intentionally. I'm gonna fit it in there somehow, some way. I'm gonna find a way to do it because it's like John over at Game Static was the big one to always point out. You always talk about Mass Effect. There was something that we chat about once. I don't remember what it was, and I mentioned Mass Effect, and John's just like, you know, for that one, I got to give you credit. I don't even know how you looped that one back to Mass Effect. It's just what I do, man. I find ways. But okay, how are we feeling about that Texas A&M Alabama game? How are we feeling about that one? Texas A&M almost got that dub, as we already chatted about. This would be the Alabama team to beat. You know, how are we feeling about this one? Because this obviously came down to a controversial last play.
I think it was a controversial last 2 plays. Because me personally, that pass interference call they called before that on the 4th down, it was kind of iffy. I mean, I could see it go both ways. But on the second one, on the second play, the actual last play of the game, it was just a horrible play call. Horrible play call, and Alabama played it well.
So Shane, I'm going to agree with you on both of them, but I really believe what they got wrong on that pass interference. Well, they called holding. They didn't call pass interference, I think. I could be wrong. The hold was actually closer to the 5-10 yard line. It wasn't quite in the end zone. And of course, the rule is you have to put the ball on the 2 yard line if it's in the end zone. I thought the holding call was well before they got to the end zone, but like I said before, you know, I'm an official advocate. The officials are going to see what they see, and then that's perfectly fine. That last play though, guys, that was one of the worst play calls I've ever seen for an ending in my entire life. I don't think I've seen a worse play call. The one time I can honestly say that was the worst play call I've ever seen at the ending of a game was Russell Wilson getting a pick or throwing a pick on the 1 yard line when all you gotta do is hand the ball off. That's all you gotta do is hand the ball off.
That's still the worst one.
I mean,
for me
that one will go down. That one will go down in history as the worst play call in a football game. But you also got to see on the flip side with Texas A&M though. It could very well just could have been a bad play call, but also it was also bad execution by Haynes King. He threw that ball not even to the end zone. So whether the guy would have caught it or not, it didn't matter. Which
King
very
also
well could have
did
not
come
been
out and
dropped.
say King also did come out and say that was a busted play from the get go. From snap to finish, it was a busted play.
Okay. Well, at least I can own up to that.
The fact that he saw that it was a busted play at the snap, but he didn't decide to do anything about it, and he still just hiked the ball.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
So I want everyone to write this down. October 23rd. You guys are writing it down. Okay.
I wrote this down last week, so you're all good.
If South Carolina beats Texas A&M next Saturday, that Sunday on October 23rd, they will fire Jimbo Fisher and get rid of him for good.
Okay.
But that's if South Carolina beats Texas A&M. If Texas A&M somehow survives, then you know what? They may keep him. They may keep him for a couple more games. We'll see.
All right, good. He's got it on his board behind him. That means it's
I
written
got
in
it
stone
down.
now. Yeah.
I got it down.
It's written in stone now. It's happening. Jimbo's getting fired, baby. Oh God. Okay.
I'll be in Tulsa celebrating. I'll be in Tulsa that weekend.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay, so the only other game I just want to quickly shout out. We don't have to go into detail on it, just because I want to shout out because it brings a smile to my face. Is South Carolina beating that Miracle Whip coffee drinking motherfucker.
He didn't play.
They still beat him. That's all that matters to me. He is on that team. He was beat. It does not matter. He did not play. He was beat. I was so high on Kentucky coming to this year. And is it sad that one little fun fact about their starting quarterback, who I was also very high on, ruined the entire team for me? Yes, that is a little sad, but that's just how my brain operates, and I cannot help it. That I hope Kentucky loses every game from this point forward because of that reason alone, because I am that petty of a person. But
did South Carolina make it into the top 25 after winning that?
No. They received 12 votes for the top 25.
Shut that.
They shouldn't receive any votes.
They're 4-2.
I don't understand that.
They're 4-2.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
Florida
4-2.
State's got
Kentucky's
18
4 and
votes.
2 and still ranked.
Yeah, but Florida State's well. Then again, never mind. We'll talk about Florida State one other time.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Coastal Carolina got 61 votes.
Yeah, they did. North Carolina's leading the other votes right now at 98. Then Baylor 91. Coastal Carolina 61. BYU 61. Notre Dame still getting votes. Florida getting votes. Tulane getting 42 votes. Shout out to that. Shout out to Tulane, the Green Wave.
I told you
I mean,
guys Tulane was a good team.
Minnesota got 5 votes. LSU got 4 votes. Maryland got 4 votes.
Oh God. All right. Any other college games we want to chat about? If not, I feel like we can probably go ahead and get into some predicting. How we feeling?
Pick 'em, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
College or pro?
Hey,
Who do we want to start
I
with?
just got a text. My dad just ordered me food.
Oh, yeah, let's
It's
go.
almost here.
Yeah, let's go. All right, we'll try to wrap this up as quickly as possible. NFL
Yes.
or college? Where do we want to go?
College.
College time. All right, let me pull up the college leaderboard. All right, Tyler did lead the pack last week with a 15-5. Tyler is still leading the pack overall with a 67-38, but Steve is right there on him with a 64-41, and Ricky and Shane are both coming up on the tail as well, 62-43,
Ooh.
and then followed with me and Jacob. But we're catching up. We're gonna get there. We're gonna figure it out. All right, let me pull up the picks. Should all be loaded. It is. Let me hit the music, and we're gonna start doing some picks, baby. All right, let's kick things off with this Wednesday game. Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns, going against Marshall, the Thundering Herd. How we feeling?
You're muted, Rick.
You're muted again.
We are Marshall, baby. We are Marshall.
I'm going with Marshall.
I'm going with the Raging Cajuns.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Herd.
Okay. Next up, Thursday game. We got Baylor at West Virginia. Is Baylor going to bounce back, or is West Virginia at home going to catch this dub?
I'm going
Baylor
with the
should
Baylor.
bounce back. West Virginia struggled quite a bit this season, and I know Baylor has as well, but I don't think Baylor's going to be as bad as West Virginia. I got Baylor.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going with the Baylor Tiger Bears.
I'm gonna have to take the former Georgia quarterback JT Daniels in this one. Let's go Mountaineers.
I'm kind of torn on this one, but I feel like Baylor's going to get a bounce back game. But I low-key want to pick West Virginia, but I'm going to rock Baylor. Baylor Tiger Bears. Next up, Minnesota and the newly ranked Illinois. How we feeling?
Minnesota's looked really good, but they disappointed me, was it last week or week before last? So I'm going to go ride with old Brett Bielema and the Illinois Fighting Illini.
Yeah, but I mean that's the one thing. Of course, I'm happy for Brett and his success and everything like that over there in Illinois. I think Minnesota bounces back this week. I've got the Gophers.
Yeah, so Minnesota has been without their former Heisman candidate running back Mohamed Ibrahim until this week. He is back. He's back this week. I'm picking Minnesota to win that game.
You know what? Because of that, give me the Gophers, baby. Next up, one of our mini ranked versus ranked matchups. Number 10 ranked Penn State going to visit number 5th ranked Michigan. How we feeling, boys? I think I'm going to rock with Michigan on this one. Give me the big blue.
Yeah, I mean both of them. You could see their struggles with both of them, especially with Michigan. Michigan's really, you never know what they're going to bring to the table or anything like that. But Penn State's basically the exact same way. Michigan being at home, I've got Michigan.
Yeah, for those same reasons, I think this is really a toss-up game. I don't know what the spread is right now, but I'm sure it's probably 3 one way or the other. But
It's
I
7
think
Michigan.
Okay.
7 Michigan. Okay. So the way I see it, they're in the big house. They're in Michigan. They're going to be in Ann Arbor. I give that home field advantage the W.
I'm picking.
We all know
the
you're going to go
Nittany
Penn State.
Lions.
There's not a day in your life you're going to vote for Michigan.
No. It's not. It's not because it's Michigan. All right. I just think that the Penn State team so far this year has showed me more, both on offense and defense, than Michigan has.
Okay. Auburn going to visit 9th ranked Ole Miss. Give me Ole Miss.
Yeah,
would
my
love-
Vanderbilt Commodores had a halftime lead against Ole Miss last week, and then Ole Miss just blew them out of the water. Brian Harsis is going to be fired after this game. Ole Miss.
Yeah. As much as I would honestly love to see Auburn win, just because I don't like Ole Miss or Lane Kiffin, but I will give them this: Vanderbilt had. I think they would have won the game if it wasn't for a 4 or 5 minute span in the third quarter where they fumbled. I mean, it was like Ole Miss literally went down 20-17 to winning 38-20 in a matter of 5 minutes because they got 3 quick scores due to fuck ups to Vanderbilt. They threw a ball behind the line. They got a scoop and score. Then they got a pick. Ole Miss went down and scored. They punted. Ole Miss went down and scored. Like, it was kind of a shit show from there. But I am gonna go Ole Miss, even though I would love to see Auburn win this game.
Yeah, I was so impressed with what Auburn was showing me on defense last week against Georgia. Going into the halftime, it was 14-0. That was it. They held Georgia to 14 points, and then the second half happened.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Rebels on this one.
All right, next up, 19th ranked Kansas going to visit OU. This is a tough one for me because I really want to keep rocking with the Jayhawks and Jalen Daniels and stuff. But, like, is OU really going to drop 4 in a row? Like, are they going to finally have a bounce back, you know? Like, that's where I'm really conflicted on this. I think I'm going to rock with the Jayhawks, man. I'm going to keep rocking with them. They've been my squad for this year. I had a squad last year that I rocked with. Kansas right now is my team. Give me Kansas, giving OU their 4th loss in a row.
I'm gonna agree with you. I think the Jayhawks is gonna go in and win this game. I hate to say it. I hate to see Oklahoma down like that, but I'm gonna go with Jayhawks.
Who the hell hates seeing Oklahoma down like
That's what I'm
that?
saying. I don't hate seeing Oklahoma down like that.
Dude, ever
look.
since Baker Mayfield came into Ohio State and planted that fucking flag on the O, man, I have hated Oklahoma. The Jayhawks are going to win this game by at least 21 points.
Let's go Jayhawks, baby.
21. Damn. Damn. Yeah, I got Kansas. I
Listen,
got
see,
Kansas too.
See, that's where we differentiate. When Baker did that to Ohio State, that's when I started cheering for Oklahoma. 'Cause that man got some balls.
No.
Yeah, he does got some balls, like when he got tackled in Fayetteville, huh? Anyway, Iowa State at number 23, Texas. Give me Texas. They proved a lot to me, beating Oklahoma the way they did.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna agree.
Iowa State plays good defense, and that's about it. They don't have a lick worth of offense, though. Texas should win this game easy.
Prediction time. Texas is going to win out this season.
Oh,
Hey,
okay. All
Okay.
right.
Interesting.
I'll put that on my
Very
board
interesting.
after.
All right, he'll put it on the
I'll put
board.
that
All right,
I'll-
good. It's locked
Yeah,
in
I'll
then.
put it on the board after stream.
Okay. Another one of our big ranked matchups we've got: Oklahoma State, 8th ranked Oklahoma State versus 13th ranked TCU.
TCU is on a tear right now. TCU is actually
They're
has
hot.
been basically the sleeper. They're just on this streak right now. Oklahoma State, though, they have proven, even in some of the big games, that they're still the best team in the Big 12. However, I've got TCU winning this game at home.
Okay. I'm torn on this one too.
I'm going to agree for everything that Ricky just said. I think TCU gets it done at home.
Yep, TCU.
Do I want to be the one lone wolf and pick Oklahoma
You
State?
don't want to because you do not want to take that L.
That is true. I don't want to take that L. But he's a man. He's 55.
Hey, and just for the record, Texas is going to lose 4 more games.
Really? You think so? Okay, I'll
okay.
put that on the board too.
All right, cool. Give me TCU. Give me TCU. All right, ACC matchup here. Ranked 2 teams. We got NC State 15th ranked versus the undefeated Orange at home. Syracuse is very good at home. Are we going to still rock with the Wolfpack, who had such high expectations, or are we going to rock with the Orange?
God, what a dumb
me the
mascot
Wolfpack.
name.
I agree. Dumb mascot.
I mean,
Get-
I'm
it
gonna go.
really
I'm
is.
gonna go with the Wolfpack strictly for that reason because I've never known if their mascot is a color or whatever.
It's
an
a
actual-
legitimate giant orange. I don't know if you've ever seen the
a
mascot.
fruit.
It's
Yeah, the mascot's
it's
a
like,
fruit.
It's like what
Yep.
the Buckeyes mascot used to look like, but orange. I'm rocking with Syracuse in this game.
They are good at home, so that, I feel that. Give me NC State. I like the Wolfpack here. I like the Wolfpack. Next up, LSU in Florida. How we feeling? Fuck, give me LSU.
This one's tough for me because this one's tough for me because you it's like the same. Florida does. You just never know what's going to go on with Florida. They'll look good for like 2 or 3 quarters, then all of a sudden they're like, well, they just like flat and everything like that. However, this is not is this a night game in Florida?
I don't remember.
7 o'clock game. Yep, it's a
Okay.
night game.
7. Oh goodness gracious! Now it's even harder to pick. I'm just going to go with LSU. I think LSU bounces back this week.
I
Guys
think
forgetting the LSU games.
Yeah, I think the LSU Brian Kelly train continues to fall off the tracks. I'm going Florida.
See, I might change my pick. I might be feeling Florida actually.
Yeah, I mean they both played. I'm looking at their
Give me
games
Florida.
so far
I
this year. They
guess.
both played Tennessee, and Florida actually was competitive in that game, and Tennessee blew LSU out of the water. I'm going Florida.
Yeah, I guess give me Florida. All right, 4th ranked overrated Clemson versus fuck Florida State. How we feeling?
Florida State
Oh,
will give Clemson its first loss of the season. Florida State.
I'm very conflicted on if I love that or hate that.
I'm right there. I am right there with you. Florida State's winning this game.
I don't think I have it in me to pick Florida State. That's the problem.
Yes, you do.
I don't think
Yes,
I do.
you do.
I really don't
Yes,
think
you
I do.
do.
I don't think I do.
I can't do it.
I sense a trend here.
I really don't
I
think
sense
I
a
have
trend here.
I don't have it in me.
Alex won't pick Florida State to win. Jacob won't pick Michigan to win. I sense this trend right here. Okay. It just
Look,
goodness
my
gracious.
hatred for Florida
If
State
Michigan
probably
Hawaii,
exceeds
Jacob,
my
would you
hatred
pick
for
Michigan to
Green Bay.
win?
Huh?
If
What?
Michigan played Hawaii, would you pick Michigan to win?
Okay, wait, hold on. First off, we already had that game. We don't need to
yeah,
bring
I'm
that
pretty
back
sure
up.
we picked that.
We don't need to
I
bring
think I
that
did
one back
pick
up.
Michigan to
We
win.
don't need to.
I'm
We don't
pretty-
need to bring that back up. Leave that alone. Leave that alone. Give me Clemson. I don't have it in me to pick fuck Florida State. I just don't.
Oh,
Give me
come
Clemson.
Yeah,
on.
I don't either. I don't have.
Give me
yeah,
Clemson.
I can't go Clemson.
I just can't, man. I can't. I can't root for the sake of the poll. I can't root for fuck Florida State because I'm not kidding. Like, fuck Florida State is probably my most hated team in sports. Over Green Bay, over. I'm sorry, Ricky. Over the Lakers. Numerous other teams that I despise. Fuck Florida State is the peak for me.
Hey, I'm done with the Lakers.
Okay, good. Well, fuck the
I'm
Lakers.
done with the Lakers.
Fuck the Lakers. Anyway.
Oh, wait. Who's your new team then? You have a new team?
Memphis
Memphis
is
is
my
fun to
second
watch.
favorite team
Memphis is
to start
fun to
off
watch.
with, but
Okay.
I really like Memphis. It's between Memphis and Golden State.
All right, next up, Mississippi State at Kentucky. Give me the Bulldogs in this one.
Go Bulldogs!
Yeah, riding the
See,
high.
of course you're going to pick the Bulldogs because you don't like the mayonnaise in the coffee thing. But
You're correct.
Mississippi State's winning this game.
I'm very predictable with my picks.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Mississippi State. I think it'll be a little closer than Mississippi State's game last week, but I think Mississippi State wins.
I actually don't think it's going to be close. I think it might be close in the first half, but second half it's going to be completely different.
All right, next up, USC 7th ranked against the 20th ranked Utah. How we feeling on this one? Big Pac-12 matchup.
Give me the
Um,
Trojans.
I'm feeling Trojans.
It wouldn't surprise me for some reason if Utah ends up winning this game. I don't think they will, but it won't surprise me if they do. And also, if Pac-12 wants a chance to be in the playoff right now, I think it comes down to UCLA and USC.
Yep.
I still think USC is still a better team, so if they lose this game and then go on to beat UCLA later on in the year, then their playoff contentions are going to be over with. So I'm going to go USC.
I'm going to be the oddball. I'm going to take Utah.
I respect it, though. All right, North Carolina at Duke. Big rivalry here. Give me North Carolina. Still like that freshman quarterback, Drake May.
Yeah, I have to agree. Let's go Tar Heels.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Let's go Tar Heels.
Yeah, North Carolina should win this game. Although Duke is way better than I thought they'd be this year.
That's true. That's accurate. Another big rivalry game here. New Mexico at New Mexico State. How we feeling? I think I'm feeling the Lobos. Let's get it.
I agree with Lobos.
Are you feeling the Lobos because they didn't beat Hawaii and New Mexico State did?
That
Yikes.
that may have something to play with it. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Look,
I just I can just
listen.
I'm just gonna predict. I'm just gonna predict.
Listen,
I'm just gonna predict your
listen.
games from now on. When
Hold
it's your
on.
when it's your turn, I'm just gonna predict it for you.
Okay. Listen, I'm only salty about that game because to me that game solidified Hawaii is the worst team in FBS. Okay, that's the only reason I'm salty about that one in particular. All right.
Yeah. Give me New Mexico.
New Mexico State or New Mexico?
Lobos.
New Mexico. The Lobos.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going with New Mexico State.
Okay.
They played tougher teams
Whoa,
this year,
okay.
and they actually beat Hawaii. So
Oh, fuck off. All right. Next up, Washington State at Oregon State. All right, Ricky, who am I picking?
Somehow, some way, someone sucks someone's cock from Hawaii, so I go Oregon State.
Go Beavs,
the
baby!
Beavs. The Beavs.
Let's go Beavs!
Now I gotta
Yeah.
pick the Cougars in this one.
Yeah, I'm
I
going
do too.
Beavs.
I got Washington State. I got Washington State as well.
Big yikes.
All right, next up, Nevada at Hawaii.
Nevada. Move on.
Nevada lost to Colorado State, man. Who's one of the worst
And hey,
teams
look,
in
Hawaii's turning
football.
around, man. They stayed competitive against San Diego State last week. They're figuring it out.
Silence befalls the crowd.
They're figuring it
Yeah,
out. That's
Nevada.
what
Yeah,
move on.
word.
you know, Timmy Chang is going up against his former team. He coached at Nevada for 5 years. He knows his team, bro. That's where he
You know
just
what?
that's where he just came from. He was at Nevada for 5 years before he got the Hawaii head coaching job.
I'll take a chance. I'll go Hawaii. I'll
All
take
right,
a chance.
Let's go Hawaii, baby. Go Bows.
It'll never happen again. I'll never. pick
Nevada-
Hawaii ever
That's
again.
fair. You gotta fade Hawaii.
So, Nevada, I think Nevada had a really bad loss to an FCS school here a while back. Nevada has really struggled just as much as Hawaii
Since they lost,
has, and Hawaii
since
has
they
been
lost
getting
Carson
better.
Strong,
Hawaii-
Nevada has dropped.
Yeah, Nevada lost to Incarnate Ward.
Yes, and Incarnate Word has a very, very interesting story behind it, which I think I kind of shared with it
Yeah, you did.
whenever it was here a while back. But in that case, Hawaii is playing much better. They're at home. I'm going to go with Hawaii.
Woo! Let's go! Go Bows! Fuck you, Shane!
It's all right. That's fine. You give me an extra win on the pools. Y'all take an extra loss, and I will move up.
I'll take
That's
that
fine.
loss with pride if it happens. All right, next up, let's go to our game of the weeks. First up, FCS game of the week. We have a massive matchup between two huge ranked teams, first and third in the nation. Big rivalry at that. South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits, against North Dakota State, the Bison. This one's a tough one to go off of here. Let's see. I got the stats here right there. This, of course, being the Dakota Marker rivalry. North Dakota State does lead 63-44, but San Diego State is on a 2-game winning streak currently. San Diego State is also favored -5.5 against the Bison, who is at home.
Is that Benton running back? Is it South Dakota that he plays for? Or is it South Dakota State?
I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about.
Can't think of his name. Anyways, I wouldn't be like I said. I mean, North Dakota's North Dakota State. I mean, we all know who they are. They're the Alabama of the FCS. But I am gonna go with the Jackrabbits.
So, South Dakota State, the last I heard, they still do not have Tucker Kraft, their tight end. And that is a really, really big part of the offense. That's one of the biggest reasons that I had South Dakota State winning this conference. Without him, they're not going to be able to beat North Dakota State's defense. Give me North Dakota State.
I don't think this game is going to be nearly as competitive as people were playing it out to be. North Dakota State's winning this one.
Yeah, give me the Bison at home is how I'm feeling on this. All right, next up we have our FBS game of the week. To no surprise. Third-ranked Alabama going to visit sixth-ranked Tennessee in Knoxville. The third Saturday in October. Alabama does, of course, lead this 58-38 with 8 ties with, of course, a 15-game win streak. To no surprise. Alabama is currently favored with 69.8% on Power Index. Alabama at -7.5 right now. They're both averaging about 44 points a game, both allowing 17 or less points a game, both averaging 500 plus. Alabama is only averaging 250 yards allowed. Meanwhile, Tennessee is averaging almost 400 yards allowed a game. It could be a big yikes there on the Tennessee defensive side. How are we feeling on this massive matchup?
Bryce Young back?
With
I think so.
Yeah, it hasn't been announced yet, but we all suspect him to be. He's suspected to be playing.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it. With or without Bryce Young, Tennessee is winning this football game. It'll be the first time that they have beat Nick Saban underneath Alabama. This is the best Tennessee team that they've had in a very, very long time. And with them rolling the way that they have been, to me, right now, Tennessee is the team to beat. And that offense at Tennessee is pretty good. Herndon Hooker, I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but Herndon Hooker, as far as QBR ratings, stats as a quarterback, things, he led the SEC last year just about everything. But yeah, Bryce Young played for Alabama, and they went and all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tennessee. I'm going to go with Tennessee on this game.
Yeah, I'm going to go with what I want to happen. Not who I think is going to win, but what I want to happen. I want Tennessee to win. I want Tennessee to win by 14 or more. I want that so much. I'm hoping and praying and flipping a coin into the wishing well for that.
I'm kind of thinking the same thing as I'm going to go with what I want, which is Tennessee. It's my lock in. But I think Alabama will still catch that dub. But I want Tennessee to win. That's who I'm going to lock in and run with. All right, next up, our terrible game of the week. We have Utah State going to visit Colorado State. Utah State 2-4, Colorado State 1-4. Utah State is favored 62.8% in the Power Index. Utah State is favored also by -11. Utah State's only averaging about 20 points a game, which is a big disappointment for this team coming into this year. Allowing about 34 points a game, 364 yards average, allowing about 400. Colorado State only averaging about 12 points a game, 35 points allowed. It's about the same there. Only averaging about 244 yards a game and also allowing about 400 yards a game. I'm going to rock with Utah State on this one.
Yeah, Utah State should win this game. Should win this game pretty easily. Colorado State has really, really struggled offensively, more than my opinion than what Utah State has. Utah State's played a bit of a tougher schedule as well. Give me Blake Anderson.
Yep, going Utah State.
Hopefully, they're the only team in Utah that wins this week.
Okay. All right. Let's hop over to NFL. Let me quickly shout out some. So Steve is currently at the top of the poll. Shout out to that with a 49-31, and followed by Tyler, Ricky, Jacob, and Shane, and followed by me right there at the back end. Ricky and Tyler came out on the top this week with impressive 13 and 3s, followed by me and Steve with 12 and 4s. And it kind of goes down from there. So let's go to picks. Let's kind of run through this. Our shitty Thursday night football matchup of Washington at Chicago. How we feeling?
Washington's just falling apart, and I think we saw it from this past Sunday. I don't think they get over it that quick. Give me Chicago.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Bears get this win.
Let's go, the Bears.
I'm going to rock with the Bears, but that means Washington's going to win. I'm just warning you guys now. Next up, we have Minnesota at Miami. I think I'm going to rock with the Vikings on this one. I like the Vikes here.
Yeah, Miami looked absolutely horrendous without Tyreek Hill and Tua.
Yep.
Absolutely fell apart. Was not even close to the football game. Minnesota should win this game.
Yeah, Tua is still listed as being out for the games, and Teddy Bridgewater is questionable. It's not looking great for the Dolphins. I'm going to go with the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm going Vikings as well.
New England at Cleveland.
New England's looked pretty bad. They've looked really bad here in the last couple of weeks. They just did not been able to get going without Mac Jones. Is Mac Jones coming back this week, or is it going to be a while?
I think it's still gonna be Bailey Zappi.
He's questionable.
He's questionable. If I'm about to say, because if he was back, I'd pick New England. But now Cleveland's actually put up some fight here lately. I'm gonna go with Cleveland at home.
I'm gonna rock with the Chubb or not, Nick Chubb and the Cleveland Brownies.
I'm going
rocking-
Patriots.
I'm rocking with the Browns.
San Fran at Atlanta. Give me San Fran on this one.
Yeah, Atlanta. Like I said, Atlanta down 21-0. They did put up a pretty big fight to come all the way back. But San Fran should win this football game.
Give me Atlanta.
Ooh, I like it.
Whoa, okay.
I
I
like
like
it.
it. I like it.
I feel comfortable with that. I feel confident.
Shane, I didn't hear what you picked. I know you said it, but I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I'm going Niners.
Okay. Tampa Bay at Pittsburgh. Newly led by Kenny Pickett, who had a rough first outing against Buffalo. It is Buffalo, though. How are we feeling on this one?
Pittsburgh has just looked god awful this year.
Give me
This is going to
Tampa.
be the first. This is going to be the first losing season, or this is going to be the first season that they don't make the playoffs. Whatever the case is,
It's gonna be,
for Mike
it'd be
Tomlin.
first losing season that he's ever had.
yeah, it's going to be bad. Give me Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Tampa.
Yep.
Tampa.
Cincy at New Orleans. Give me the Bengals on this one.
Yeah, I think the Bengals bounce back this week. Tough road loss against Baltimore. New Orleans seemed like they kind of figured a few things out, but not two in a row. Give me Cincy.
Yep.
Yep.
Baltimore at the Giants. I think give me the Ravens on this one, although it could be a little bit of a spicy matchup.
Yeah, I think the NFC East is 20 times tougher. I think we've all realized now that the NFC East has been a lot tougher this season than what people realized it was going to be. However, Baltimore should win this football game.
You know, I think Baltimore will win this game, but you know what? I'm rolling with Danny Dimes and the New York Giants.
Yep, absolutely. I'm going with them New Jersey Football Giants.
All right, next up, the New Jersey Jets going to visit Green Bay.
You know, I really want to pick the Jets to win
I
this
do
football
too.
game. I want to pick them to win so bad, but it seems like whenever Aaron Rodgers loses a football game, usually that they find some way
Yeah.
to bounce back and win the very next one. Even though I'm very high on the Jets, I've got to go with Green Bay.
Give me Green Bay.
Give me the Jets.
I like it.
Yes,
I
I like it.
At least someone picked it. At
Yes.
least someone had the balls.
You know, I talked about this a little bit last week. For one, I picked the Jets to win last week. Didn't expect them to win like they did last week, but I did pick them to win last week. But you also got to think Green Bay is coming off of a London trip, and it's going to be a relatively short London trip in my opinion. But I do think Green Bay does find a way to win.
Jacksonville at Indy. Jacksonville, move on.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm gonna agree. Even though Jacksonville really struggled last week, I don't see them struggling like that 2 weeks in a row. Indy has struggled every game they've played this year,
Listen,
and so yeah, and I'm gonna go with Jacksonville.
like I said when I picked
Duval.
like I said when I picked Jacksonville against Indy week 2 and we shut them out, whatever, 24-0, I will continue to pick Jacksonville because Jacksonville magically has the Colts number. Until proven otherwise, that's what I'm running with. Arizona at Seattle.
This is a game I really want to pick Seattle to win.
I'll do it for
But
you.
I know-
I'm going to pick Seattle.
But
I'll
but
also
I'm-
do it for you. I'll pick Seattle.
Yeah, I'm about to say I'm going Seattle.
Wait, hang on. Let's confirm. Does Call of Duty have a double XP weekend coming up? Because if so, we all got to pick Seattle.
you know what? Screw it. I pick Seattle.
There we go.
No, there's not double XP this weekend.
It was last
but
weekend, 'cause that's why
the
the
new
Cardinals
Call
lost.
of Duty is coming out this weekend.
Oh.
It comes out on the 15th or 16th.
Ooh.
So
Geno Smith has been playing better than Kyler Murray, anyways, which is
Yeah, true.
shocking to say.
True.
But yeah.
Carolina at the Rams. Give me the Rams.
Rams.
Yeah, Carolina's not going to win another game this year. Give me the Rams.
Come on, guys. Come on, PJ.
He
Come
made-
on,
look,
guys.
Look,
No,
listen, no,
no,
it's not gonna happen.
no.
Man, I'm sorry.
It's gonna happen. I'm picking Carolina.
Oh, for the love of God.
All right, next up,
There's some biased pickers here.
these next two ones are pretty tough to pick, in my opinion. We'll start with Buffalo and KC. This is a hard one to pick, honestly. I really don't know which way to go. I'm very conflicted.
I'm going Buffalo.
Oh man, yeah. This one is that. Like I said, this one is very, very tough. I've rid with Buffalo because I really believe Buffalo is gonna. I really believe Buffalo's still gonna win the Super Bowl. But in this matchup, being in Kansas City, give me Kansas City in this one.
Yeah, so Buffalo has Kansas City's number in the regular season, and then when it comes to the playoffs, it's the opposite. This is the regular season that we're still in, so give me Buffalo.
Give me the Bills. Give me the Bills. I think Bills can catch this dub. Dallas and Philadelphia, Sunday Night Football.
If
No,
I'm not go ahead, Shane.
I'll kind of start it off. At this point, just because we have two Dallas Cowboy fans on the show, I may just have to adopt Philadelphia as a third team that I enjoy watching, because I really do love watching this Philadelphia Eagles team play. I think Jalen Hurts is playing above and beyond what he was, predicted to play. I think him and the offense coordinator is kind of finding a routine, and I think they're still on the road to win this division. I'm going to Eagles at home.
Cooper Rush is going to catch his first loss. Give me Eagles.
So there's one thing you guys keep forgetting. You guys keep forgetting that this Philly team is still quite young, and they're still not quite experienced. I understand that they're 5-0. Yeah, 5-0. I don't have my glasses on. I understand that they're 5-0. The Dallas Cowboys have yet to give up more than 19 points in a single game, and that's going to continue this weekend. Dallas will go on the road, and they will beat Philly on the road this weekend.
But the thing is, though, what's Dallas's offense averaging?
I don't care what their offense is
Enough.
averaging. They're averaging enough to win. They're like I said, they're averaging enough to win. I mean, that's just the thing. You give me their offense all day. I don't care. Last time I checked, Philly gives up more points a game than what Dallas does. I've got Dallas.
Yeah, but they're not going. They go up against better offenses than what Dallas's offense is, though.
Tampa Bay. Of course,
The
I know the Rams.
Rams.
I know the Rams. Hey, look,
The
I know the Rams.
Bengals.
I know the Rams are a shell of themselves right now, but the Rams is still a very good football team. The Bengals, I mean, what more could you ask for?
I apologize, Cowboys fans everywhere.
Oh, for the love of God, don't you do this to me, man.
Fly, Eagle,
I am-
fly.
I apologize so much. With a tear in my eye, I do have to say that the Cowboys are going to win this game. Come on! Come on! Is it really thinking, why were you doubting me? What the fuck was that shit?
I like the build up. I like
Cowboys.
the build up. All right. Monday Night Football, Denver and Chargers. Give me the Chargers. Give me a snooze
Yeah.
fest.
Yeah, we can move
Yeah.
on.
All Chargers.
Yeah.
Yeah, why,
Chargers.
again,
Yeah.
get Denver out of prime time,
Yep.
please. For the love of God.
Yep.
Someone's paying somebody off for Denver to be in prime time. That's for damn
Shit,
sure.
no joke there, dude. God bless. All right, made it through our picks. That brings us kind of towards the end of things, especially since we're over 2 hours into this now. I'm hungry. I want to go eat food. So we're going to wrap things up. Boys, last thoughts on anything that we chat about here today? Anything you want to shout out? Or should I go ahead and hit the closing music and we work our way out of here?
Just have
Hey,
to say it
the
again.
Arkansas BYU game was not on our college picks this week. I'm wanting to know why.
Honestly, at this point, leave that to Shane. Shane had a chance and he didn't put it on
Okay. It's okay. BYU's going to win anyway.
there.
It's gonna be a great weekend for football, boys.
It will.
It really
both
is.
College and NFL. It's gonna
Yeah.
be great.
I'm stoked. I don't care at this point if the Razorbacks lose. This is going to be a freaking one heck of a weekend. I've got a feeling this is going to be one great weekend.
I can't
And
wait.
I can sit back and watch college because Ohio State has a bye.
There you go. Yeah, and since I'm not on vacation, unfortunately, I'll actually be able to watch some games this weekend, and I'm looking forward to it. Even though I'd rather be on vacation back in Florida. I almost didn't come home. All right, well, if that's wrapped up, I'm going to hit the music. So, boys, music is playing. Final thoughts that you want to shout out.
3 more losses to go.
I am moving on from that conversation. I just bought Jacob's mic on Amazon. It'll be here Thursday.
All right, new mic for you next week.
And yeah, I literally bought his entire audio setup that he has right now. So, bought that during the show.
Fucking copycat.
Read between the lines is what Ricky was saying. Read between the
Yeah.
lines. All right, well, if you made it all the way to the end, we appreciate the hell out of you. No matter if you watched it after the fact, listened to it, or whatever. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, be a friend, tell a friend. Be back next week to talk about a lot of incredible games. Can't freaking wait. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait to reveal our Agent Ink stuff to you as well. Hopefully by next episode, we might be able to actually reveal some stuff. Because like the Terrible Football Show stuff is done. We've now finished that. Jacob and Shane, you guys missed that part. That was the beginning of the show. That stuff is done. ATFS is done. We're moving on to Sparky 3 stuff. So hopefully we'll actually get to reveal some stuff here in the near future. So we haven't got a chance. We haven't done this in a couple of weeks, and we got a full house here today. Let's try to do A Terrible Football Show shout ending all together now as a wonderful family, even though you guys have a delay from me. And it makes it just so incredible every single time. So are we all here for it? Are we going to do it? Our first one as a family here, all 4 of us. Get it. Okay. All right, here we go.
We are family.
Exactly. With that said and everything else said in this episode, thank you so much for listening to A Terrible Football Show. Hey, that was good, boys. Let's go. Let's get it. Great weekend ahead.